Hello everyone, welcome back to another Tomato Sauce stream. Today, we've got a lot to talk about. There's actually been quite a lot going on, isn't there? We've got a ban list, we've got a bunch of leaks to go over, we have a whole bunch of OCG reveals. We had like a lot of them dropped all at once. I mean, there's obviously some little things as well, like yesterday we did watch more Vrains. I do want to talk about that a little bit because that was some really good episodes yesterday, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where that goes. There's also the Deckmaster Cup. We've just had one, which was fine. It wasn't like the best Deckmaster Cup. It wasn't the worst. Obviously, we had the best of one. We did have it during a Speed KC Cup, which is a bit of a weird time to do it because a lot of people, turns out they do play both. So, you know, if you'd be like, oh, you got to pick one. We also did have another one announced for March, which is all very, very interesting. But we're going to talk about all of that. But before we do, let's just say hello to everyone that's in the chat. So we have Pro Manicus with the first. Hello, hello, Pro Manicus. We have Baj. Hello, 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 Baj. We have Gunkin, Suship, Shari. Welcome, welcome on in. Obviously very excited about the noodles. We have Corey in the chat as well. Hey, hey, noodles and bird time. Yeah, The Euro stuff, I don't know. I've seen some people get very excited about it. Me personally, I'm like, I might be an outlier here. I don't think normal monster.deck is a super exciting idea, right? Now, it kind of works with, like, I don't know, Elemental Heroes to an extent, and Metarian, because they're fusion decks, right? But when it's just Air Formula Eagle and then a bunch of normal monsters, I'm just like, that seems really boring. That's just not my cup of tea, if I'm being perfectly honest. But we have Dragson in the chat. Hello, what you cooking today? I mean, today it's just going to be yapping. It's just yapping. It's yapping about all the bits and bobs. There's a lot to cover, so it's going to take a while to go through all the yapping. I do also want to take a look at some of the speed stuff because I am interested in the speed stuff. I do like to keep up with the speed stuff that's going on. So we are going to take a look at some of that as well. I know a lot of people like to groan. They're like, oh, we've got to go through all the speed stuff. I like the speed stuff. I like going through it. I like learning about all the new stuff. Tomato, are you sick? Yes, I am still sick. I have been sick since... God, like... I don't know. It's been over a week at this rate, I think. But again, we're slowly getting over it, right? Like, we're slowly improving, but we are still sick. But hello, Toti. Welcome, welcome. We have PTRG. Roro. Hello, PTRG. Welcome, welcome. They finally hit it. They finally did one. They finally hit elemental circulation. We've been asking for this for months and months and months. I think... Did we say... Was it like October? We were like, we gotta hit this card. I think it was after... It was being played in baseball. Was when we were like, this is getting out of hand, right? This is getting a bit silly, right? We got to take this away from everyone that isn't heroes, right? Ban Pro Fire Dragon, lol. Why'd you want to ban Pro? What the heck? Dwan's Fire Dragon deck with the Draco Nuke spell, lol. Yeah, the baseball deck is a strong one. Euro stuff, I don't care for, lol. He is basically filler, but the possible Harpy stuff he comes with, I love. Right, we are going to cover that, but I do want to get ahead of this, and I do want to say the reason that none of the Harpy stuff was put in with the data mine section of the Discord is because the data miners don't think it's going to be relevant. So I think it's fun to speculate, and it is exciting to be like, oh, we could get some really cool Harpy stuff. Don't expect it. Be more like, if Harpy stuff does come out, great, fantastic. But I wouldn't start planning around Harpy stuff coming out, right? We don't really know when it's going to come out, if it's going to come out. All we know is that the database has been modified. For speed, dinosaurs got modified like a year before they actually came out. And for rush, almost every time the database gets modified, nothing comes out. Like, it's like so far away. The reason it was even brought up this time is because... For the first time, some of the cards were modified that are in the skill leaks, right? That's why it was even brought up at all, right? Let's try and catch up a little bit. Psychic Bros out of jail. Hello, Bella Sparkle. I think that the psychic stuff is cool. I don't know how relevant it's going to be. It might indicate that we're getting something psychic related in the next box. But I think realistically, if they're going to release new support for any deck, we're probably going to get a new skill for it. Like, I don't see psychic being particularly strong. Like, we could get a bunch of new psychic support, right? That'd be fine. But I don't necessarily see it being super relevant without getting a new skill. So Piper may or may not come by stream, so you can ask them about it. I mean, I doubt Piper's going to show up, at least not like this early, because I think it is quite early in America right now, question mark? I don't really know that. I assume Piper's from... Well, Piper is British Piper, so I assume Piper is from Britain, right? Just going by the name, right? But Piper never shows up, or I never see Piper active during, like, British times. But that might just be because they're at work, right? They might be doing stuff, right? They might have a life, right? Shocker, I know. But, you know, so I just assume everyone works off of America time. It's like, the same thing I see with a lot of people. Like, a lot of, like, British people, or, like, British content creators, or just British people in general, they're, like, active at, like, 4 a.m. And I'm like, why are you active at 4 a.m., bro? Like, what's going on? Do we not sleep? Anyway, that was a bit of a rant. That was a little bit of a off-topic. We're still waiting for volcanics to come in speed. Exactly. I mean, it's not 100%, but it makes sense, especially because Euro plays Harpy, normal monster, in his anime deck. Kind of. I think, though, that if we were to get more Harpy cards, it would be weird for them not to get a dedicated Harpy skill. So, I think it would be strange to randomly drop a bunch of Harpy stuff when Euro doesn't even have a skill for them. Obviously, there's, like, the generic wind skill, but I don't think that's... Harpy is a very, very impactful archetype in both, you know, speed and rush, right? In rush, every time Harpy got new support, it became a tier 1 deck. It's a fan favorite. It would feel very strange to just throw a load of Harpies out and not give them their own skill. And we haven't got a skill leaked, so it's not in the files, which means it won't be out for Euro's first appearance. I mean, maybe for Euro's rerun event, they give him a Harpy skill, which would be strange, but not out of the question, right? So, what I'm trying to get at is, anything is possible. They could just do it. Don't get your hopes up, though. That's what I'm saying. If you don't get your hopes up, you can't be disappointed, right? That is fundamentally the point I'm trying to get across here. Harpies will be used by Euro high-level NPC trust. I mean, could be. Absolutely could be. That would actually make a lot of sense, right? Because we did see the high-level Immy using the fresh berries. So, punks then rush psychics unhit. There we go. Big psychic conspiracy. That's what it is. Italy. It's morning in America. Yeah, but isn't it like 7 a.m. America or something? Like, it's like really morning. You know, because like there's morning and then there's morning, right? You know, a lot of people aren't waking up at like 6, 7 a.m. A lot of people are waking up at like 9, 10 a.m. because, yeah, if you can have a lion, a lot of people are going to take a lion. It depends like what kind of lifestyle you're living and what's going on the day, right? Maybe they're employed by Decade. I'm always active at 4 a.m. I am never active at 4 a.m. I can tell you that right now. Piper, never been a fan of saying where they are. Just a lot of information on them. I mean, I can understand that as well. You don't really want a lot of people like harassing you and hounding you. I imagine Piper has it quite bad with people like DMing them specifically for like, oh, you got leaks. Have you heard anything about this? Where did you get this? How likely is this going to happen? Blah, 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 blah. I imagine Piper gets that almost constantly. Because I get DM'd a lot just being a content creator. And, like, for me, it's fine, because a lot of the time it's just people asking, like, very simple questions, asking about rush decks, and just talking about little bits and bobs. But it could be annoying depending on, like, the type of thing that you're doing, right? They were online, like, a few hours ago and asked when's your stream. Well, there you go, then. We have Ursus in the chat. Hello, Ursus. There's no Yuna. I'm already disappointed. Yuna would be huge. Because, right, what the takeaway is, right? Because we're going to take a look in a minute as well at the upcoming updates, because we got like the what's coming in March stuff. Euro is mentioned there. Sabu Ramen is not mentioned there. So it's like, so are they not coming as a double package? And if they're not coming as a double package, when are we getting Sabu Ramen? Or are they coming as a double package and he's meant to be like a surprise? Or, like, there's so much, like, question mark there. But what this means is we've now pushed everything else back. So now it's going to take us longer to get to Yuga Goha. It's going to take us longer to get to Rovian. It's going to take us longer to get to Yuna, right? Theoretically, we're pushing everything back, right? So now it takes us longer to get to the Lug. It takes us longer to get to, like, Zion. It takes us longer to get to Phaser. It's going to take us longer to get to, God, what's his name? What's the guy that lives inside of Udius's head? I've already forgotten his name. The light guy. You know the guy. You know the guy I'm talking about. I always forget his name. Because I don't like him as a character, personally. But it is what it is. I think I know who he is, but don't want to say. Just in case Konami tried pulling them on the ban list. 8 a.m. East Coast. There you go. 8 a.m. So it's not that early, then. Not that early. So Matarian's back. Hello, Decode. I would say Matarian is going to be stronger than it was. And Matarian was already seeing an okay amount of play in, like, Deckmaster Cup, for example. It hasn't been seeing fantastic results. So I would say Matarian has a good chance to be relatively competitive. I don't think it's necessarily going to suddenly be like a tier 1 deck or anything like that. I think that'll be pushing things a little bit far. But I do think it could now come into the meta again. But I think it's going to be probably like a tier 3 deck, if it's not already considered a tier 3 deck sort of thing. Kwaido, yeah, thank you, Corey. Thank you, Corey. I want to say it's a mix of both leaks and asking for bot/third-party software for Duel Links since that one Project Piper and Quaz did with the voice lines. I see. And more like Yami Fusion is back, baby. Let's go. Again, I pointed this out in my video. Where I did talk about the Yami Ruler Fusion. I don't think this is going to, like, revive it. I still think the best way to play Yami Ruler is probably... I don't know if it's still, like, super viable. Especially because... I haven't actually thought about this. But... the changes they've made, right? Include the last ban list and this ban list. Actually sort of murders the Yami Ruler Straight Pierce deck, doesn't it? Because Straight Pierce was put to 1. And that means we immediately lose... Pot of Greed from that deck. And now, Elemental Circulation has been put to 3, so now it directly clashes with Yami Ruler. So now you can't play that in there. And the whole point of that deck was to turbo through and then stall your opponent a little bit until you got to what you were looking for. Now you've lost every single consistency tool that deck had. Now on the flip side, you do have Trade-In. So that might fix some of that issue, but I don't think Trade-In is as good as Elemental Circulation, personally, if you're playing a deck that can play it. It looks like right now it's Euro this month, Sabu Ramen, the big thing for May. If that's the case, it's a big joke. I doubt that. I think it would be very strange for them to put out these skills in this update and not release them next month. I would expect Sabu Ramen to come out next month. Somewhere, right? Now, there's a chance that they could bump him to, like, April. But I do think it is likely Sabu Ramen is coming out in March. I just don't know when or how. Again, they might just be like, surprise, Euro's here, and here's Sabu Ramen. He's also here. Oh, it was a big surprise. Nobody knew this was coming. Or they could, like, do it at the end of the GRF. Like I say, I'm not really sure exactly. It's really difficult because Konami likes to really break precedent. They like to do something, and then they'll go, all right, you've now got our expectations set that you're going to keep doing it this way. And then they completely go, oh, actually, we're doing it different now. Hey, it's doing something completely different. And so it's really hard to predict what they're going to do because, again, they swap it up so much. Why have to unlock so many kids? I mean, that's just how Yu-Gi-Oh works, right? So many Yu-Gi-Oh characters are children, right? It just so happens that in specifically 7s, almost all the characters are children. In Go Rush, there are children characters, but there are also many non-children characters as well, right? And I think that was an attempt to course correct, because a lot of people didn't like 7s, because 7s was very, like, slapstick. It was very... every character is, like, a 10 to 12-year-old child, except for, like, very specific characters like Mimi. And I think, although I liked that series, I think a lot of people didn't vibe with that, so I can understand it. Also, hello, Kim Friend, by the way. Welcome, welcome. I know we're never getting Sabu Ramen. The noodle skill has always been generic. Well, we have... So, alright, again, I'm not a data miner, so take what I say with a grain of salt, right? As far as I'm aware, the data miners are able to ascertain whether a skill is a character skill or an archive skill. Now, skills can still be changed. Skills get changed a lot. And sometimes because of the way that skills are data mined, where you basically have to use them and then see what happens and try and reverse engineer the skill, that means sometimes stuff gets like mistranslated, sometimes you get things a little bit wrong, because it feels like it's working a certain way, but actually it's working a different way, right? But as far as I'm aware, it does seem like we are getting 3 noodle character skills. And Sabu Ramen makes the most sense to give those skills to, right? As far as I'm aware, you know, it's not like Sabu Ramen himself has been like, his name has been data mined or something. Although it was data mined, or at least a noodle character was data mined a long time ago, around the same time Euro was, so... only reason this release was kind of exciting was because we expected 2 mech characters to release together. But again, we still might. We don't know. Now, Metarian is the same deck as before, but now you need to play around a sack if you didn't have a shady set. Well, Metarian was in a weird spot because they got their new trap card, and their new trap card is actually pretty good. And they got leading, but leading, it felt like was being kind of held back. I don't know where Metarian is going to sit right now, but they can now cheese wins. So if your opponent doesn't have any back row, or if you just have some back row hate, we are in an ad break, so we'll just wait for the ads to go away. And we'll hydrate. Alright. 8 seconds. And welcome back from the ads. But yeah, I don't know. Metarian, I think, could be okay. I think, again, you can now cheese some wins now that Gun is back, right? That's the big part. Breaking news, Satan escapes from hell. Okay, interesting. Hello, Soramir. Welcome, welcome. Bruh, don't let a rapper from Tottenham called Disav escape from prison twice in a month. What are we even talking about right now, PTRG? We literally know he is coming. We have his character ID, 3 skills with his name. But again, I don't think the skills are directly linked to his name. But again, I'm not a data miner, so I couldn't tell you. I'm not gonna lie, I love Go Rush, but I don't like at all 7s. I think, personally, 7s does a lot of things better than Go Rush. I think overall, I prefer 7s. But I think that's because I liked where the story went in 7s more than I liked where the story went in Go Rush. That being said, I think the Go Rush characters are so much better than the 7s characters. They have so much better character development. I think the character interactions are so much better in Go Rush. But I do prefer the plot of 7s. That's kind of how I divide them. To my knowledge, it's still brute forcing everything and see what happens, assuming to be Sabaraman because, yeah, a skill, a good card, generic skill, but the ace skill is still obscured, and the good skill can just be an archive skill. I mean, yeah, absolutely, right. A few months ago, the ID was linked to the name Sabaraman, and now we have 3 skills that is ID. I thought the skill before, though, wasn't linked to Sabaraman. Thank you for the follow, Decode Player. I thought the skill was linked to, or the ID was linked to the other noodle guy, the Go Rush one. I forget what his name is, because in the anime, his deck is like Masked Beast Noodles, which is an anime exclusive deck, so God knows what's even happening with that. But we should probably start looking at some of this stuff. So I think because there's so much dual link stuff to go over, we should try and not like dart back and forth. So I think the best place to start is actually going to be the Rush OCG stuff. So we're just going to read through the newly revealed Rush OCG stuff first. The first thing we have is the Sky Saviors. So we already had this card revealed, so I don't really know why he's here, but he's okay. Can attack directly, gain 1500 attack and defense, or can attack 3 times. So it's a good card. Or can attack twice even, not thrice. I think he's a little bit heavy costed to get him out for effects that aren't super great, but he's very versatile, right? So then we have Limlith, the Sky Savior Princess, level 9, 1800 attack, 2400 defense. You contribute summon this card tapestries by contributing 1 water monster or a fairy. During the turn, this card is normal summoned. Choose up to a total of 2 Soliel, Lure, or Fusion in your graveyard. Add them to your hand. Then you choose 1 monster in your field, set to the graveyard. So this card, again, we already knew. This is pretty good. We could summon it by only contributing 1 monster. We can then add 2 cards from the graveyard back to our hand. So it kind of acts as a plus, and then we can make room if we need to make our fusion summons. So this is just a good card. Don't forget we also have a singular Charmer spell from an earlier article, just so you have all the cards together. I mean, I don't care about looking at that personally. Claymont, the Sky Savior Advisor. I can't remember if I think we had this guy. I definitely seen his artwork. During the turn this card was normal summoned. Choose 1 card on your field. Is that Darth Victor subscribing for 4 months? Thank you, Victor. Welcome on in. You've caught us just going over the OCG
Darth
reveals.
Victor just subscribed for 4 months. While if it isn't tomato.
I don't know why I said while. Oh, because you put an I in there, that's why. But hello. Choose 1 card on the field, send it to the graveyard on your field. Then you can choose 1 Water Warrior monster that does not have 1200 defense in your graveyard, or a Sky Savior Prayer in your graveyard, and add it to the hand. Level 6. I don't like that we keep doing this. We keep trying to force level 6s, level 5s to be relevant, and they almost never are. It's just kind of annoying. So choose 1 card on the field, sent to the graveyard. So we tribute a monster. Then we send 1 card to the graveyard. And then we add 1 card from our graveyard to our hand. So we get stuck with a 2000 attack monster. So ideally we want to fuse it off, but the only thing we can really fuse it off into is going to be this guy. We -2, and then we get 1 card back. I don't know about this one, guys. I mean, it might be necessary for the strategy to work, but this is not like a good card, right? Sky Savior Oath. This card's name becomes Prayer while in the hand or graveyard. Fusion summon a Celestial Warrior by sending 1 Water Warrior monster and 1 or more fairy monsters from your hand or field to the graveyard. Okay, it's just polymerization. You can recycle it. Yeah, that's fine. And then Sky Savior Defense. When your opponent normal or special summons monsters, shuffle 2 Water Warrior monsters from your graveyard into the deck. Choose up to a total of 2 attack position Celestial Warriors and or Warrior monsters on your field. During this turn, they cannot be destroyed by battle. Then you can choose 1 Fusion in your graveyard and set it to your spell and trap zone. This seems very mid. It only protects from battle. So if your opponent has effects that destroy, shocker, guess what? A lot of decks do that. Not super helpful. We also get to set exactly just Fusion from the graveyard. This is just bad. I don't know. I don't like this card at all. Maybe this is like a side deck card that you'll occasionally bring in if your opponent is just not playing a deck that pops. But I don't know. I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it personally. Hopefully they move the old noodle skills to his character list. I mean, potentially, right? I can't stay because I've got a concert shortly. I see. Well, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, overall, I think this is fine. A bit expensive. This is good. This is mid. This is okay. This is bad. That's kind of my thoughts on those. So next up, we have Bring About the World's End with Mad Fiends of Despair. Now, these are what I'm excited for, because this art looks sick, and I want these cards to be good. I can't remember which ones we've already seen, but we're going to go through all of them either way. So, Dead End the Mad Fiend of Despair, plus Bad End the Mad Fiend of Despair. Shuffle 6 monsters from your graveyard into the deck. Choose up 2 cards you put to field and destroy them. Then you can choose 1 monster on your opponent's graveyard and special summon it to your field face up. So we have already seen this one. This is a good card. Obviously, we have to sort out the graveyard. That's a bit annoying. Getting out both of these monsters can be a bit annoying, but I believe the ritual sorts that out, so it's not the end of the world. This card is just good. It will come down to how easy is it to actually summon in practice, right? Music Princess and Psychics will just reduce the attack to 0. Exactly. Well, there's lots of decks that can also do that sort of thing. Evangelion themed? Yeah. So we have Dead Core the Mad Fiend of Despair, level 3. Fusion summon a Dark Fiend monster with 2400 defense. Guess what? 2400 defense. By sending monsters from your hand or field to the graveyard as materials. That means even though these are 2 bosses, we can fuse from the hand, which makes that fine, right? So that's good. Then we have Bad End. So shuffle 4 spell traps from the graveyard into the deck. That can be tricky. Getting 4 spell traps can be a bit awkward. Choose 1 spell trap card on your opponent's field and destroy it. Okay, popping back is good. Then, if there are 6 or more monsters with the same attribute in your graveyard, which will be dark, you can choose one level 7 lower monster to your opponent's graveyard and special summon it to your field face up. I'm curious as to what we're doing with our opponent's level 7 or lower monsters. But it's interesting. The other thing is we can't get this out easily, so we have to hard tribute this with 2 monsters, which is a little bit So then we have our ritual spell, ritual summon Dead Core, the Mad Fiend of Despair by sending Fiend monsters from your field or graveyard. This is the other thing. We have to send Fiend monsters, which means although we can revive one of our opponent's cards, we then can't use their card unless we're reviving a Fiend for this ritual. Because that would be a good use of this, right? You summon it out, I yoink your guy, I ritual your guy off, I get extra value, but we're not allowed to do that, so... Despair and Longing. During a turn, you have not activated Despair and Longing, send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. Special summon a level 3 or 8 Dark Fiend monster with 1200 defense from your hand to your field face up. Then if Dead Core, the Mad Fiend of Despair, is on your field, you can choose one Dark Fiend monster in your graveyard and add it to the hand. I mean, this is just good, right? You treat this as a body, right? So this is a body that you summon, and then you tribute to immediately cheat out a level 8. So that is just great. That's already a good discount. On top of that, if we have Dead Core, the Mad Fiend of Despair on the field, we also get a plus. So it comes down to, if you have Dead Core on the field, this card is amazing. If you don't, this is fine, right? That's kind of how I look at this card. Especially because the bosses don't have a way to get out onto the board easier. I think there's one of the old support cards can revive one of the bosses. So like that's kind of the other way to get it out, but I think it's kind of fine. From Executees and Lovely to Evangelion, exactly. Howdy, Russians. Hello, a human. Welcome, welcome. Okay, we've caught up. Alright, I mean, I think this archetype has potential. I don't think the cards we've seen are quite enough to make this, like, really strong, but I think this is fine. Alright, now it's time for the Charmers. Forget it, Yuga, it's Charmer Town. So, these cards are from Overrush Pack 4, so let's take a look at the art. So this is Ulcer. I mean, the art looks good. The art's always going to look good. So we have level 3 Earth Spellcaster, 500 attack, 1500 defense. During your main phase, this card was flipped face up, or if there is another face-up spellcaster monster with 1500 defense on your field. Oh, so they are trying to keep them like as sort of flip monsters. That's interesting. That's an interesting way of doing it. But you have to flip it up yourself during your turn. So either there might be cards to summon these face down. No, because that would have to be a skill. Because if you summon them face... So you just have to... They just have to survive a turn if you want to get that flip effect. But then the other point is if you just have multiple Charmers, you could just use their effects anyway. Choose one level 8 or lower Earth monster on your opponent's field, except a maximum monster and gain control of it. Okay, so is this just... They're all going to be exactly the same. Okay. So are we going to have, like, some attribute changing? Let's take a look at the arts. I mean, this looks good. I don't think this is as good as Ulcer, personally. I think Ulcer's looks a lot better, but it is what it is. Heater. Yeah, this looks alright. And then, God, what's the Win one called? Win. That's right, Win. Yeah, Win looks fine. So, none of them are particularly exciting. It's okay so far, but not great, but the artworks for Mad Fiends are fire. Alright, Ulcer the Earth Spiritualist. These are the level 5s, 1900 attack, 1500 defense. During your main phase, this card was normal or special summoned. Send one monster from your hand or field to the graveyard. So is the logic, we want to summon out a Charmer, yoink one of our opponent's guys, then tribute the Charmer to summon out the Spiritualist, and then send the monster we yoinked with it, maybe? Send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. Then you can choose one level 5 or lower monster in your graveyard and special summon it to your field face up. You can activate the effect of Ulcer. Okay, so just any level 5 or lower monster in our graveyard. Doesn't have anything to do with being Earth. Okay, so you could use this to go into one of the other level 5s. So during the main phase, this card was normal or special summon. Send one monster from your hand or field to the graveyard. Choose one monster in your opponent's graveyard and place it on the top of the opponent's deck. Your opponent cannot normal summon or special summon a monster with the same original name as that monster until the end of the opponent's next turn. So it's like a little floodgate. So they could still set it. right? They can still set it and tribute it off. So there's still stuff you can do with it. Then we have Heater. During the main phase, send a monster from your hand or field to the graveyard. Inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Whoa, crazy. Then you can draw 1 card. Is that it? So you have to tribute a monster to summon this. So it's a -1. Then we send a monster from our hand or field to the graveyard to replace it with another card. Is it just me, or are these really bad? Like, this area just minuses you. Like, straight up. Like, you lose a body when you summon it, because you have to tribute. And then you lose another card to use its effect, and you gain nothing. At least, like, Heater gives you, like, replaces, and so does Ulcer. Because they, like, this one summons a body, this one draws a card. I don't know about these. Okay, you do blah, blah, blah. Send a monster from your hand or field to the graveyard. Choose one face-up effect monster on your opponent's field except a max monster. Place it on the bottom of the owner's deck. That's really good. That's really good. Any face-up effect monster, so you can't use it on a maximum, you can't use it on a normal, but anything else, you just get rid of it? That's really good. You give them 1 brick. Yeah, but giving them 1 brick isn't worth a -2. They expect you to use the opponent's monsters, but still. Yeah, but what if your opponent's playing a light or a dark deck? I mean, maybe the spell trap save it. Maybe the spell trap save it. Well, the spell trap. Spiritual Refinement. So send 1 spellcaster once with 500 or 1900 attack and 1500 defense from the hand to the graveyard. Draw 2 cards. Then you summon a level 5 spellcaster monster from your hand to your field face up. You cannot attack with level 9 or... This is okay. Because this breaks even, right? You lose 2 cards, you gain 2 cards, and then you get to cheat out a level 5, so that's effectively saving you a card. I would like this to summon from graveyard as well, but I guess that's technically like a +2 if you were to do that, because you get the body and you also get the discount, so it counts as like a soft +2. Is this all the Charmer cards, or is there still going to be more revealed? There's still more. Yeah, we already have some of the artworks for some, so we guaranteed know there are some. Most themes should have around 11 to 13 cards, maybe more, yeah. I think Win is amazing. This card might see some fringe play in non-Charmer decks, just because of how good this effect is. During a turn, Light of Bewitchment has not been activated. This is like the change attribute thing. I think this card is kind of garbage. I don't think that is going to like fix anything, like at all. I think so far, kind of mid. I think these two are like fine. Win is amazing. Aria is just bad, straight up. I don't see a reason to -2 yourself to give your opponent a brick, and a quote-unquote brick. Because they can just set it, right? They could discard it. They could send it for a ritual cost. They could fuse it off. There's so many things they can still do with it that it's not enough of a brick. So I think this is kind of disappointing. Well, with that out of the way, we'll move on. Talk about the new ban list. Who's ready for ban list, chat? So, this goes live March 10th, by the way. We're another one of those weird, like, oh, we get 2 whole weeks of having to fudge this in tournaments. I mean, it's going to be fine for Rush, right? Like, what are we going to have to do? Like, the ban list changes a little bit, and, like, Neo's skill can still be used because it doesn't do anything it couldn't already do. It's just weaker than it will be, right? So that's kind of whatever. Alright, Aura Paragon. When neither player can special summon monsters. This is a floodgate. What decks were using this card? I am actually curious, because again, I don't have my finger on the speed metagame quite as much. So it looks like it's being played in Tachyon. I'm guessing Tachyon is the reason this is getting hit. But mind you, Stardust Synchron is like seeing play still. All of these decks do definitely see play, but this is the only tiered deck. Drytron and Stardust, you can also protect it from unaliving itself. Well. How many floodgates did Konami release, Holy? Too many. Too many is the answer. Then we have Galaxy Wave. Each time you XC summon, inflict 250 damage to your opponent. This was the funny OTK card. This was being used in Burn, where you just keep synchro summoning over your Zodiacs and not synchro summoning, XE summoning. You just keep overlaying again and again and again and again and burn and burn and burn and burn and burn. That was a fun deck. I don't know. I think that deck's fine. I don't know. I need to hit that. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So then we have Chronomaly Atlantis. So when this card is XE summoned, you can target one number monster in your graveyard, equip that target to this card. This card gains attack equal to half the attack of the equipped monster. Once per turn, you can attach one XE material from this card. Then send the monster equipped by this effect to the graveyard, halving your opponent's life points. Yeah, I'm sure that, you know, halving your opponent's life points was probably never abused by anything. That's fine. So Dark Magician FTK. I love, by the way, there are so many, like, FTKs and burn decks, like, just on DLM, like, in their own categories. So yeah, you know, maybe we should stop having FTK decks, right? Maybe that would make the game better, right? I know it sounds crazy, right? But maybe. What happened to the DM FTKs at KCC? They were dominating for 2 days. I think people just, like, worked out how to beat them, most likely. So we have Gallant Granite. This card was being used in... Well, this is the Trap Tricks hit. Let's be honest, right? I think everyone knows this is a trap... I don't think anyone's like, oh, man, we've got to hit Orcust and Adamancipator. I'm sorry, Baz. I'm sure this absolutely ruins your deck. Being played at 1 copy in 25% of decks. But yeah, I mean, Gallant Granite, add a rock from your deck to your hand. This just searches Nib, right? Let's face it, it searches Nib. We know it searches Nib. I don't play Granite and Snipers. It's okay, Baz. You don't have to be ashamed of it. Like, this is a safe space. Is Stop Defense FTK still alive? God, I hope not. I hope they all fell out of top 10. So Nightmare Corruptor Ibli. This is a weird one. What was this being used in? I'm guessing something degenerate again. Again, it's Stardust Synchron. Because this card is, like, annoying. For sure. This card, like, does those, like, weird, annoying things. Stardust sends it to the graveyard. Okay. It's just... It's very frustrating when you force something onto your opponent's board, and then your opponent is like, my stuff works only when I have nothing, and you have now given me this. What do I do with this? Some decks are fine, right? They'll, like, link it off or something. But, like... I don't know, man. Good riddance, is all we can say. Retaliating C? What was Retaliating C being used in? B Trooper. Okay, that makes sense. And Trap Tricks. Oh, okay. I mean, 1% of Trap Trick decks. We're playing 0, apparently. I'm looking at that completely wrong. 3% of decks were using 3 copies of it. Interesting. I mean, Retaliating C... Floodgates, be floodgating, fundamentally. Meanwhile, I don't care about it in Strikers. Just ban this shit. It's also a floodgate. Weird, annoying things, it's a floodgate. How do we feel about Hey Trunade, guys? Hey Trunade is a weird card. Because in my mind, right? In my mind, this card stifles interaction. Because you play Hey Trunade, then either your opponent negates it, or all their back row is now just gone or forced. And obviously a big part of this game is setting up back row. But at the same time, so much interaction is now on monsters that maybe it doesn't matter as much. Trunade at 1 is a slight hit to Trap Tricks. The format went from back row meta to monster negate meta. I mean, that just sounds like it's moving to more like TCG Light, Master Duel Light sort of thing, right? Because, I mean, so many decks don't even bother playing trap cards anymore unless it's something like Imperm. But in Duel Links, we're still seeing a lot of back row, right? We're still seeing Droplet, we're still seeing a little bit of Book, right? We're still seeing a lot of stuff. It's a weird one. Scary Moth, Floodgate. Floodgate hit. I mean, obviously this is a Beat Trooper deck hit, so... people still, despite it for who knows how long, it's fine now. All decks with no limit 1 will play Trunade. I mean, maybe. It is, like, probably one of the better generic ones. Probably doesn't need to be limited these days. Fuck Moth, to be honest. I keep seeing it being summoned back. I mean, Moth is a big part of Beat Trooper's, like, really strong turn 1, right? Also uses Stardust as well. Is it uses Stardust? Hey! Guys, is Stardust just degenerate? Does Stardust just play all of the bullshit? Is this just bullshit.deck? Like, do we need to have a word about this deck? Is it because the skill is, like, completely unrestrictive? It's like, yeah, play 7 or more tuners. It's like, oh, okay, I could do that. And then play everything else. But look at this shit. It's just hand traps, kaijus, more hand traps, more hand traps. I don't know, man. I don't know. It can be Lamau. I play Stardust. Hello, am I late to the party? Hello, Lost Memory. Kai, we've gone over the OCG stuff. We're taking a look at the speed ban list at the moment. We're trying to get through that because all of the Rush Duel Link stuff is all going to be together, right? So we don't have to keep darting around. Yuso finally got something, I guess. Yeah, but if you're like, oh, you could there's a really cool Yusei deck going around. Oh, yeah? What's the cool Yusei deck? Yeah, you get to play Lava Golem, and you get to play Nibiru, and Ghost Mourner, you get Veiler, you get to play Kiteroid, you get to play Ghost Trick Jack Frost. And it's like, okay, where's all the Yusei cards? Oh, don't worry, Stardust Dragon's there. If you thought we weren't going to see any Yusei cards, don't... Stardust Dragon, checkmate atheists. It's like... I don't know, man. This is just the pile deck. It's just a pile deck. I mean, we said this when the skill came out. When we did review the skill, when it was announced, we did say, okay, this is going to be probably the new pile deck, right? You just want to play like random ass shit, just put it in this deck. I played a Stardust Sword Soul list in KC Cup, climbed 45k with it alone. Nice, very respectable. Another thing I will always say, no matter how degenerate a deck is, if you're entering a tournament or if you're entering like a KC Cup, go as degen as you need to. Winning that event and placing highly is more important than like people saying your deck sucks, right? Hand trap, yes deck, exactly. Veiler is a Yusei card at least. I mean, yes, but let's be honest, right? When you think of Yusei, is anyone thinking of his iconic effect Veiler, right? I don't know, man. Either way. Moving on. Tachyon Transmigration to 2. This card is annoying. My primary concern with this card is that I was there when this card was first released and it was like absolutely broken. But that being said, that was a very long time ago. And I don't think that matters as much anymore. And Tachyon isn't even like the strongest deck in the game, right? Like it's doing really, really well. But like... Why Cocktail comeback? Don't worry about it. We'll get there. We'll get there. So Schism. Shadow is a really weird deck for me. I like some of the concepts of Shadow. I think there's a lot of people that play the game at a very high level. I don't just mean like ladder warriors. I mean like people that are like going to worlds. People that are like performing really, really highly in these KC Cups. Like the actual competitive players. Really like Shadow. That being said, I hate queuing into Shadow because it always feels like everything is a trap. Like, oh, don't wipe their board because you're going to trigger a load of effects. Don't mill a load of stuff or you're going to trigger a load of effects. Don't do this because this will happen. Don't do this because this will happen. Oh, you know, oh, constructs on the board. Well, if that goes, it's going to do with it. Oh, Winder is just an asshole. Like, I don't really like playing against Shadow in general. I think it is one of those decks that you really have to understand through and through in order to understand when you're allowed to interact with it. Because if you interact with this deck at the wrong time, you just lose, right? So I don't really like the fact that Schism's going back to 2, if I'm being honest. I just got hit last ban list previous. Definitely means we're getting a second transmigration. A limit 1 moth just to bring back Winder. Nice, Konami. Konami loves cringe though. Literally, that's what I said. Tachyon ain't even the strongest deck right now, and its main cards have even been hit, but yet Trap Tricks only get hit with Granite. Yeah. Trap Tricks is a weird deck where it's still kind of new, but like if you want to hit Trap Tricks, but you didn't want to hit any of the new cards, right? None of the cards that have just come out. What do you hit? Because there are cards you can hit. It's just, do you want to hit them? It's a tricky one. Again, I'm not a hyper competitive speed player, so I couldn't tell you. Play thy anime to know thy anime. Limit all FTK floodgates, but really should all. But they're going to give us back everyone's favorite floodgate window, right? Why not? Well, Tachyon did place higher than Trap Tricks at KCC. Well, there you go. Memelo. I mean, yeah, Memelo's a good one. Void Trap Hole. Hello, Tomato in chat. Have we gone over any OCG reveals? Hello, Rarity. We'll do an exclamation mark Rarity in the chat. We have gone over all the OCG stuff already. The long story short, none of it seems that great. The Mad Fiend stuff, I am optimistic. I think it could be good. The Charmer stuff all looks pretty garbage. I think there's maybe one card in there, the Win. Level 5 Win looks okay. And then the Sky Savior stuff is a kind of a big nothing burger. So although there were like quite a lot of reveals, there wasn't really a lot to talk about. So you haven't really missed anything. I'd love to know if the Charmers are good. I have a friend who is interested in Charmers. The Charmers look like they could be okay. I don't think they're going to be like absolutely awful. And I don't think they're going to be really, really strong. But that being said, there's still a lot of cards we haven't seen yet. I will say the level 5 Win does look very good. To the point where I think some decks might play it outside of the Charmer archetype. But I think that might be a little bit cope because it still does require you giving up 2 cards. But giving up 2 cards to get rid of any card in your opponent's board seems really, really good. Full Art Charmer's kind of sick. Yeah, they look amazing. The art of the cards look amazing. But, you know, gameplay-wise, I'm kind of like, eh. Wait, Skystriker is bad? I missed that part of the stream. So, we only got, what, 2 new cards revealed? No, 3 new cards for Skystriker. They got a really bad trap card that's just bad. It's just straight up bad. They got a new level 6 monster that's kind of mid, because you have to, like, -2 to get anything off of it. And even then, it's not that useful. And then they got a polymerization. And polymerization's fine. Who doesn't love polymerization? Polymerization's fine. Damn Shadow back to tier. Would have been sick if they didn't waste all 4 slots of full art on bad Charmers. I think the cards look amazing, though. All of those Charmer arts look really good. Maybe the Aria one could do with a bit of a touch-up. I don't know. I think it's too much like, oh, we're peering from behind the bookshelf kind of art. I'm not really a big fan of that. Traptix isn't tier 0-1. It's very parasitic. Charmer's best strength is that, with what's been revealed, is that they're extremely generic. Ulcer plus Win plus Draw Spell. And some of the relevant low levels like Area for Lindorm and Win for Defiant is a strong package to run with something like Magician of Back Chaos. Yeah, I mean, that's sort of what I was kind of getting at as well. Because I was like, in the same way as Volt is saying, I think the spell card they're getting is actually quite good. The problem is, I couldn't see a justification for running the spell card with just Win in a non-Charmer deck, right? But I guess if you're playing Ulcer as well, because you could use Ulcer to bring back Win, and so Ulcer is just more Win, in a sense. You just have to mill 1 into the graveyard. Now you've got 6 targets for the draw spell. So that actually does seem pretty good. But again, it's generic, right? It's generic. So you could just play that in anything that doesn't, like, lock you. Because, like, you wouldn't be able to play it in something... Like, this is a really weird example, but, like, you couldn't play it in Moonforce. Because Moonforce has so many restrictions, right? Or at least, it would be very awkward to play in Moonforce. Because Moonforce has a lot of cards which is like, for the rest of the turn, you can only activate Galaxy cards. And it's like, well, now you've got to do things in a very specific order. If you're playing other draw engines, you're now going to draw into it late. It's going to be a bit weird. But hello, Volt. Welcome, welcome. I don't know if you have any opinions on the other reveals, Volt. If you have any opinions on Mad Fiends and the Sky Savior stuff. But I didn't think much of the Sky Savior stuff, I'll tell you that much. Ulcer is crazy. It summons any low level lol, basically a level 5. Is it any low level? Yeah, it was any level 5 or lower, wasn't it? In my mind, I was like, it summons level 5s. But yeah, it's level 5 or lower. And it's like unrestricted as well. No, yeah, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. That is going to be really good. Right, let's zoom in a little bit so we can get the text bigger on screen. There we go. So Tachyon Spiral Galaxy. Target one dragon galaxy monster you control. Until the end of the turn, it cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, it's unaffected by other card effects except its own. You can only activate one Tachyon Spiral Galaxy per turn. If you control Galaxy Ice Tachyon Dragon, you can activate this card in your hand. So this card is crazy. 3 guesses what deck this was used in. And then we have Masquerade. Masquerade Limit 3. What do we think about Masquerade Limit 3? What else is currently Limit 3? Like, we jump over here quick. Alright, what is this conflicting with? That, like, they actually play. Branded Fusion. Okay, so we're now saying we're taking away a copy of Branded Fusion, I guess. A stupid hard hit on Tachyon. Araya's level 5 is a bit costly, but shuts down some decks really hard. Unlike Lamey, it isn't level locked, but also can be played alongside it. I didn't like Area, personally. I think... So, I guess it depends on the deck, right? But in my mind, I'm like, you can still set it, you can still tribute it, you can still send it for a ritual spell from hand, you can still fuse it off. So part of me was like, there's so many ways to get around it, that -2ing to do that is just not worth it. And that's, again, going under the assumption that we have to summon a monster, tribute that monster to summon out our area, then tribute, then use Area's effect, send another card to the graveyard to lock your opponent. So we've now stuck a 1900 body on our board that we don't really necessarily want there, and we've used up 2 cards to effectively put a card from our opponent's graveyard back on top of their deck and make it so they can't use it. I'm trying to think of like which decks get screwed over the most by that, but... Brafu is at 3. Brafu, Branded Fusion. Hello, J-Strong. Hello, Relast. Welcome, welcome. The other 2 themes are mid, but incredibly incomplete picture, so can't really judge. Yeah. I mean, yeah, fundamentally, yeah. Chalmers already has 10 cards, and the 11th is the field spell we just know the artwork of, so there should be only like 1 to 2 more Charmer cards in that pack to kind of save the first wave of the theme, yeah. Alright. Back to these. Cards to be unlimited. Ptolemaeus. Does anyone care about this card? What can we do with this? Like, if we get the 7 material effect, that's pretty damn strong. That's like a game-ending play. But, like, how likely are we to be able to do that? I mean, this was originally used to summon out... What was this used to summon out? Did you used to go into, the Cyber Dragon? The rank 5 Cyber Dragon. Infinity. This goes into Cyber Infinity. Yeah, there you go. Traptrix can now play Pleiades. Star Seraph care, I guess, but no one will play that deck anyway. I guess if you think about it as we can use any 2 monsters, but we'd have to use 3 is the issue. I was like, how easily can we get to Infinity off this? And I don't think it's worth it a lot of the time. Traptrix will not play this. Well, there you go. Widow Anchor. Are we happy about Widow Anchor? Are we super happy about this? Is this like, does an extra Widow Anchor, does that change a lot in the in the Sky Striker metagame? 3 extra deck space. 3 extra deck slots, still not worth it, but there are more available strategies. Widow Anchor unhit is nice if we have more than 2. Alright, yeah, we only have 2 at the moment. So what is this clashing with at limit 2? Is there anything relevant? Kiteroid, I guess. Free limit 2. Best we got is we can play Hallowed Life Barrier. Sky Striker players don't deserve to be happy. I mean, there is some truth to that, to be fair. Like, Sky Striker players are always really obnoxious, right? I mean, they're always just, like... They're always so, like, self-centered. They're always, like, talking about just their one deck, how nothing else matters. I don't know. These Sky Striker players are weird, man. Anyway. Thank you, MF Hum. On Mufum. For the subscription. I do appreciate it.
Subscribed for 3 months.
Thank you, thank you. Always a pleasure. It's not impact anything. Yeah, pretty much. Stratos, does this matter? Is the next question. What Limit 3 is Hero playing? This also could be because coming up, we do have a Neo skill that's been leaked. So maybe they're trying to get it ready for that? I don't know. I've never seen a non-toxic Sky Striker player. Now, don't take it personally, Badge. Everyone's just dogpiling because it's fun. What the fuck did I do? BOE with a Book of Eternity with the new hero slop. They have no more Limit 3s. They can play Eclipse now. Hello, Grand. Welcome, welcome. And hello, Henry. Welcome, welcome on in. They can play Eclipse. There's Eclipse like the only thing that heroes would play, I guess. I'm like looking at the rest of this. I'm like, nothing else in here is particularly attractive. There's so many weird cards on this list, by the way. It really does feel like the Limit 3 list is the Book of Eclipse list. Or I suppose, or the anti-degen list, because a lot of this stuff is just like, please stop OTKing. Hero need new support. Now hero players are the actual ones who don't deserve to be happy. Hero is still going to suck, so I don't really care that much. I mean, that's fair. Hero... like was playable, and then it got, I don't know, nerfed, or like it fell out of favor, and then people started playing Floodgates in it, and then that stopped being popular as well. And so I'm just kind of like, any deck that's just spamming Floodgates, I'm just not a fan of personally, so I'm just like, we just get rid of it. Should have freed Orcust. I don't know, people are just, they're really afraid of Orcust, and I don't, like, I kind of get it. Orcust like was a dominant deck for a long time, but like, do we need Harp and Nightmare Limit 3? Most of the time, people are going to play just a single Nightmare anyway. So it's just like, you can only play 2 copies of Harp. Play Necro Gardener and Needle, I guess, but might be past the time they're useful. Yeah. I can see that. Alright, Barrage. From Limit 3 to Unlimited. So now, Zodiac can play 3 Barrage and 3 Book. Cool. I don't play Zoo, so I don't know how impactful this is. The thing I like from every Konami ban list is not free Quantum and Mechlord favorite deck. What, Mechlords? And Cubics? You're right, we can never let the Mechlords and the Cubics become free. We can never allow this to happen. Respectfully, they some pussies. It reduces Orcus splashability. Orcus would really benefit from Topologic Bomber Dragon Unlimited. I think a lot of decks would, you know. Infernoids need to come off the ban list. It doesn't matter. Zodiac's still ass. They don't have a skill. Don't they have a skill, but it's like really bad? Or do they just not have a skill at all? Because I think a lot of decks are in a similar boat, where like they have a skill, but it's like, this is like unplayable. This changes everything. The deck still sucks. I want to play Stardust Orcust. Oh, I mean, yeah, you could definitely do that. Yeah, they have a skill. It's really restrictive. I remember reading their skill, which is why I was like, I'm sure they've got one. Skill does nothing. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Adds to the extra deck. So it's literally a nothing skill. It's like the Gradius skill that we have in Rush. Star Dorcust. I don't know why, but Star Dorcust sounds great. I love that name. So ET is going from 1 to Unlim. Is this going to change a lot? Because, like, we've just got Punk, and Punk's doing quite well, right? How many level 3 or lowers are in Punk? And can they use their effect on special? Because, like, theoretically, this could be really big, right? Smells like super mini grift sush. Oh, Virtual World? Do we know... Wait, is Virtual World coming out? Like, do we know that's coming? Virtual World's a weird one. I played against a lot of Virtual World in Master Duel, but I've never actually played it myself. Because I know we've got some leaks to go over. I didn't see a Virtual World skill. But maybe there was and I missed it. But there was also a list of cards that are coming out. So and we'll go through that when we get to them. If they release Shen Limit 1. Oh boy. Virtual World's a weird one as well. Because it shouldn't be long till we see Virtual World in the anime, right? Because I'm pretty sure that's what I uses. Like, I'm pretty sure that's I's deck. And we're coming up on that in the anime. By the way, we've been watching the Vrains anime. We just had a Spectre versus Lightning. Oh my god. That is my new favourite duel from Vrains. That duel was so good. It was actually peak. Spectre is now, by the way, my favourite character from Vrains. I don't... Man, just... He has so much charisma. It's so good. It's so good. Like, I literally called it as well. As soon as he got extra locked, I was like, he's going to extra lock him back. I'm calling this now. I think I called it as it happened. I was like, right, he's going to steal Judgment Arrows. That is the most Vector thing he could do. And then he yoinked Judgment Arrows. And then I was like, he's going to break this lock, and then he's going to lock him back. And then he did it with, like, extra flares. And it was like, oh my god, this was incredible. I think that's the most excited I've been for any Vrains episode so far. It was so good. Anyway, that was a bit of a tangent. Punk doesn't really use it that much. Yup. One for the branded is budget opening. Level 6 synchro is in the file. I hate Virtual World so much that that gets cringe. Punk starter, level 3 psychic. Punk can now use Harbinger and emergency teleport. Oh yeah, Harbinger. Tomato VW is a win deck. And not only that, they aren't Cyburst. Oh yeah, he uses Agnista. Why did I think that they were Cyburst for a second there? That's right. Is Virtual World used by anyone in the anime then? I assume it's not. I think it's because Agnista was another deck that, like, was... I got introduced to it at the same time as Virtual World, and I think I got my wires crossed. It isn't his deck. Let him dream. And yes, that duel was peak. Spectre is so good. Yeah, Spectre is so good, man. He's so good. Alright, 1 for 1. 1 for 1 is a weird card, because this card is almost always used for, like, degen stuff. I mean... Hey, look, it's pro. Is there, like, anything... Because these are all, like, vastly different decks, right? I'm like, what is 1 for 1 going to do? I think Joe uses Virtual World for a few duels, but that might be only in the manga. I don't even know who Joe is. That means nothing to me. Branded? What level 1 does Branded use? Is it one of the ad-libs? Let's have a look. Despian Traj. Okay. I know I said ad-lib. Ad-lib is one of the Despias. Would you want to summon this off that? You want to use comedy? Where's comedy? This one. Prepare to expel effects. Despia card you control quick effect. You can discard this card. This card's in your graveyard. The issue is both of these cards you don't really want on the field, right? Joe Mama! You aren't playing this in Branded. You need to dump and special summon level 1. That doesn't seem super useful. Not gonna lie. Then we have Light Stage. Yeah. Any Trickstar fans in the chat? I'm not a big Trickstar person. I think that Trickstar's, like, fine, I guess. I'm not really, like, super against Trickstar. But I've got to say, I was expecting to like Trickstar more after watching Vrains. I think, if anything, I like Trickstar less because of Vrains. So, I don't know, man. You definitely won't play this in Branded. I just make Linkaribo. Real! I want to try it. Void Ogre, my boy. Trickstars, Void, I love Trickstar. Brickstars do nothing in Duel Links. I mean, I don't know. Like, this deck was, like, viable at some point, right? But halving all the burn damage is, ugh. Never played them, but I like the theme. I would try it if I had infinite gems. Resonator with... I mean, everyone seems more excited for Void Ogre, right? Okay, we'll talk about Void Ogre. Void Ogre is cool. Void Ogre, this was being played in what? Back when... Oh, what was the deck called? The lawn chair deck. What's the lawn chair deck called? You know, the one where you have to have your hand empty. It was played in that. This is kind of generic end-boardy stuff for, like, synchro decks. More recently, this was played in Resonators, I think. Infernity, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. I'm bad with names, guys, you probably noticed. Resonator Full Unlimit. Yeah, it was pretty good a few years ago. It was funny to chain Trickstar Reincarnation with my own Droll to banish their hand. I mean, that sounds funny for you. It doesn't sound funny for your opponent, if we're being completely honest. A deck that might use for one, a Lyrilisk, Dino, Red Eyes, Predaplant, Altergeist. Would you play this in Dino? I mean, maybe. The issue is you wouldn't get... Would you get Archer's Effect? I don't think you would get Archer's Effect. So it'd be really awkward. I'm trying to remember if you can... If Archer's Effect is on normal or special. But yeah, Void Ogre is... It can be annoying, but like it only negates spell traps. So like it's at least not like an Omni. So you can like play around it. It works on special. Well, there we go then. So you give up a card. Maybe you'd play it in Dino? It comes down to like how many starters do you need? I mean, the deck needs 2 cards to get going, right? You need to find both. You need an Arch and you need a Misk. So, well, you need a Misk and a... Not an Arch. You don't even need the Arch. You need Misk and you need Baby. Misk and Baby. That's the combo. A Resonator turn 1 more crazy. So then we have Cobalt Sparrow. Alright, guys. I might be alone here, but let me know if you have any camaraderie here. I hate these birds with a passion. I think some of the worst speed I have played is when birds were a competitive deck and you had to play around both of their bloody annoying Xyz monsters. One which bounces all of your shit and the other one that just Wabakoos for the turn. Both of which are very annoying to play against. As well as, I hate the art on all of these cards. Little girl bird people is just not interesting to me at all. I just do not like it. I just do not like this deck. Like, on any level. It's even an anime deck. I don't even care for the anime character that plays this deck. I'm so anti-bird. We hate birds. I second that. This deck shouldn't have come to Duel Links. Real respect birds. I mean, you're entitled to like them. But we have new birds now, right? We have Flu. Maybe Flu is the cool birds, and Lyrilisk is the lame birds. Maybe we're there. They deserve a roundhouse. Scuffed Harpy ladies, Burdick was hate. At least they killed one bird. Shino Bird. Shino Bird is a weird one. I think I'm happy. That deck's kind of calling Flu cool. Hey, you know, Flu is like... It's a deck. Exists. It's been doing okay, and it doesn't... Because, right, Flu is like Drytron, in that it had a bad name associated with it because of how it was played in TCG, right? I haven't played much against Flu in Speed, so I can't really speak to that, but I'm willing to give it, like, the benefit of the doubt, right? At least it's easy to deal with the birds now, I think. A Change of Heart was so cringe, so I'm glad it's gone. Well, there you go. There you go. Respect them, but they'll waste time in tourneys and drag out tournaments. Oh, boy. Yeah, I don't know. I am not happy to see this unhit, but, like, realistically, what does this change? Like, this deck, again, can now also play the book. I don't know if it was, like, conflicting with another bird or something. Crimson Gaia. Again, what does this change? Like, does this change much? Again, you can now play Book in this deck, I guess. They can play Book against Right, again, Right. I hate the Shino Bird hit simply because it was the only speed deck on my Rush account, and now I have to invest in Red Eyes. No! That is a shame. That is a shame. Damn it, they can play limit 3 cards now. But the only limit 3 card they're going to play again is going to be Book, right? It's the only good, like, generic one. Let's jump this back up. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Where are we going? We're going to Discord. Get off of Discord. There we go. Alright. Just clicking down here. Alright. So. Is there anything else in here they'd bother playing? It's gotta just be Book, right? Maybe Needle Ceiling? Would they bother playing Needle Ceiling in this? Come on, no way. Surely they wouldn't play Needle Ceiling. Wait, can you... When you use Nightingale, can you protect your guys from Needle Ceiling? Surely there's no way. Shadow and Bird come back. We're literally just going back, because we're also bringing back Resonators, guys. We're bringing back Rezo. BANLIST sums it up to Yep, Book, and Nope, Book. I mean, that's what this kind of ban list is here for. Deckmaster Shinato for the gem stuff. Shadow and Bird come back. Needle, no. Book of Eclipse better, yeah. Hello, Shui, by the way. A Book is good. Every deck needs 3 Book to read in 2026. Exactly. Just Book next turn, boom, boom, GG. Yep, Soul Protect, lol, and Rezo. Salamate, right. Is it just me? Or are we unhitting all of the decks from one of the best Duel Links metas we've ever had? Right? We're bringing back Rezo. We're bringing back Salads. Or, you know, coping that these decks are actually going to come back and be relevant. I mean, what are the other decks we need to bring back then? We need to bring back... What was the deck that Dwan was playing? Oh, my brain is completely fried trying to remember these decks. It was the meta when I was playing Dinos, and I was having a ton of fun with it. Utopia? No, it would have been... I want to say it was before Utopia? But Utopia is another one. Utopia, keep that shit locked up. I can't remember what the deck was. It was, oh, it was Tri-Brigade. Tri-Brigade. Bring back Tri-Brigade. It was not... winning a lot, but bring back Tri-Brigade. Alright, Overflow. Overflow from 2 to Unlim. So what does this do? This frees up limit 2s for Cyber Dragon? Never got hit. That's why I said, well, being locked up for 900 days. Do we need to bring back Infernoids? Is that something we need to do? I mean, it would be interesting to see what happens. Shit been banned since 2020. Yeah, but so is, like, Orcust, right? Like, we've had, like, a lot of Orcust hits since then. Yes. I mean, that's fair. No, we shouldn't. I feel like Serena goes against the grain most of the time. Like, if chat has an opinion, Serena's like... So what have we unlocked now for Cyber Dragon? I don't know. Like, what in here would you actually bother playing in Sidra? Like, Hollowed, maybe? I don't know. 2-1. No one wants to play versus Noids. So whatever. I mean... 2-1-1. I mean, realistically, I don't think this is going to accomplish much, right? Majesty of the White Dragons. Which one is this? Show up to 3 of the Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand, face at monster zone and or graveyard. Then destroy an equal number of cards your opponent controls. You could banish this card from your graveyard to ritual summon 1 ritual monster from your hand by attributing Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand off. Okay, is this being played in anything? 100% of Blue Eyes lists are playing 1 copy of this card. Are we using it just for the pop, or are we using it to go into Chaos Dragon? I guess both. I guess some people were using it to go into Peacock as well. Majesty Unlimited's big. I hate that I'm... they immediately free the deck. Just got hit in previous ban list. Majesty freed before Roar. Listen, Roar is too strong. It can never be allowed off the list, okay? Now they can play Harbinger. I mean, overall, I think for the most part, people are quite happy with this list. I think the question marks are Schism to 2. I think a lot of people aren't happy with this. Then, like, that's kind of it. Like, the rest of this thing, everyone's for the most part kind of happy with. Trunade. Everyone loves Hey Trunade. Hey Trunade is a weird card. I don't know if I like this card. I really don't know if I like this card. Because I think this is like antithetical towards interaction. Right? You play this, and you go, all your trap cards are gone. But that might be a very Rush mentality, because in Rush we don't have monster negates, right? So, in Speed now, you have a whole bunch of like Omnis on your monsters, you have spell trap negates. Like, we just got Void Ogre, right? You just summon a Void Ogre, you just don't give a shit about Hey Trunade anymore, right? Now it's like, well, now you're going to need to, like, Hey Trunade into, I don't know, like a Droplet or something. I'm not really happy. Trap Tricks deserved harder nerfs. Okay. That is fair, Dwan. But are you happy with the changes you did get, but you just wish they'd gone harder? Like, alright, we are in an ad break again. So we're going to do our good old hydration ritual. Having fun is a Rush mentality, real. Also, not really. I think some stuff should have been done better. What would you have changed then, Dwan? I am genuinely curious, because I think you're quite a well-respected member of the Speed community. I think you play a decent amount of competitive. So, like, I think your opinion is one that's worth mentioning. Obviously, you're on the Top Player Council as well. So I'm curious what else. Obviously, you'd like to see Trap Tricks hit harder. I assume you'd like to see, like, Rafflesia hit or something. I did dual room, nothing really changed. They should have banned Dweller. Well, there you go. Ibly and Scary Moth banned. Ooh. I could get behind that. I also think you could have done a little bit more. Like, I think... I might be a bit biased, but I think we could have also probably banned Retaliating C. I don't think we need to be, like, kid gloves on for these hits. No one uses Rafflesia? I mean, I don't play Trap Tricks, so I don't know. You tell me. What's, What would you hit in Trap Tricks? God, there aren't even that many banned cards. It's actually surprising to me there's this few banned cards still in Duel Links at the moment. Konami just give it to me on the daily packs. They can't ban it. No, they can. They absolutely can. Literally just ban Dweller. At what point, though, do we just get rid of all the floodgates, right? Like, we could just get rid of all of them. But then, are there some floodgates that you wouldn't want to see banned? Are there, like, necessary evil, quote-unquote? Hit Sarah? Sarah, I think, is too new, right? Sarah is the ritual, right? The new-ish ritual. Saying new sounds weird when it's been out for a while, but, like... Yeah, I don't see them hitting Sarah yet. I still think it's a little bit early. Maybe I'm... off base, right? But part of me is like, they won't hit any of the ones that came out in the Sarah box. Not yet. I also don't like the way they nerfed Despia. You don't like that they put Masquerade to 3? To take out one copy of Branded Fusion? Cope for another copy of Kagari? One of these days. One of these days, Badge. Skill hit or banlist wise. The newest Tachyon card got hit, so why not Sarah? What was the newest Tachyon card? Which one was that? This one? Well, first off, this is a box N. So, like, comparing a box N to a, I mean, God, what, to a box SR? I mean, it's not a UR. If it was a UR, I'd be like, yeah, they're not hitting that anytime soon. But it's an SR. Maybe you could hit that. But like this one was rank ticket, right? So you could probably hit this one. But the issue is, if you hit this one, people are only playing it one copy anyway, so you would just kill it, right? You take it from the deck. You could put it to like 1, and maybe that like forces Dweller off. But because already we're basically forced off of Granite or Dweller, right? If we put this to 1 as well, you'd have to force 2 cards out the extra deck. Maybe that would be fine. Yeah, I went and checked. It's an SR. Trap tricks by themselves are perfectly fine. The problematic cards are Dweller and Nib. Well, we've hit Nib, right? Because you can now play like the Searcher for Nib or the Dweller. So my guess is people will get rid of the Gallic Granite and then just hope they draw into Nib. But then they might have to play more copies of Nib. The skill is the problematic part, to be honest. Traptrix also just had a selection box exclusive come out, so they probably don't want to punish that cash cow too much. That makes sense as well. But I guess it comes down to, like, are most of the people who are going to go into that box, have they already gone into it? Alright. But I think that's probably it for the speed stuff. Should we take a look at the speed leaks now? I think that would make sense, because then we can do all the rush stuff at the same time. And anyone that's just here for speed can get all their speed kind of out of the system, right? Has to be the only one that thinks trap tricks are fine and just want a Dweller ban. I would also like to see a Dweller ban, personally. Speech. Look at the skill changes. Oh, that's a good point, actually. There we go. Speed skill changes. Right. Skill changes will go into effect in PvP from March 9th, and PvE with the app update 10.6.0 releasing around March 24th. I also really don't like that they do that. Why not just, one, when you do a ban list announcement, change it within a few days. Like 2 to 3 days. Just do it. Who cares about making us wait 2 weeks? And why do we have to have a difference between the PvP update and the PvE update? Like, just do them all at the same time. It just seems very strange to me. I can't imagine they need that much extra time to like program that in. It just seems very weird. Why did it take 3 decades to make it playable? I don't. So Theatre the Branded lost the free Despia Theatre of the Branded ability to search Branded opening. From the second effective, the skill can now only search Despia or Theatre. It also lost the ability to mill a Despia monster for its third effect. That seems very heavy. So we've lost the free Theatre of Branded. And we've lost the search from Branded opening. This is such a heavy nerf. That is diabolical how much we have just absolutely skewered that skill. Yeah, it's too much. We lost everything. Thank God Shadows was unbound. Because, like, to me, this isn't okay, let's tone them down. They're doing a little bit too well. This is like I really want them just out of... Like, at very best, I want this to be like a tier 3 deck. That seems like it feels like it. They handled Despia Nurse badly, in my opinion, and I didn't even play that deck. The thing is, I did play this deck a little bit. Obviously, not super competitively. But, like, because I've had experience with this deck, I know how much these changes are going to really, really hurt. A lot of these other decks, I'm going to kind of be like, oh, no, maybe that's good. Maybe that's going to kill it. I don't know. It's like they should have hit them harder, or was it too harsh? Branded dead again, and World is better for it. Hopefully they never release more support. The thing is, I think Branded is fine, right? In terms of, like, in a vacuum, Branded is fine. The problem Branded has is, one, Tax Dragon. Tax Dragon is just toxic. That card is just toxic. There is no other way to say it. That card is just not fun for anyone. It is awful. We hate it. The other issue it had was the first Dark Lord. Back when Branded was first a deck, back when it was like Despia, I guess, the first Dark Lord Turbo, I think, is so cringe. It was just lame. It's like, oh, I'm going to play Despia. Okay, what's your ace monster? The first Dark Lord. It's like, okay, we're just going to like have a search to grab the spell, activate it, and then pop your opponent's board during your turn. I don't know. I just thought it was really boring. Branded still has a ton of broken support not released in Duel Links. But the thing is, by the time we get it, because we might never get any of that stuff, or at least it might be like way, way, way in the future. Or we could get it and it's immediately nerfed on release, or we'll get a new skill that replaces the skill anyway, so it's not going to matter. Like, it's so wishy-washy. It's so difficult to predict exactly what's going to happen, and thus how to like best prepare yourself for it, I suppose. Branded still has a ton of broken support. They shouldn't hit the consistency, just limit power. They basically made them less consistent, and they get one less card. They also hit their ability to go second, which shouldn't happen, in my opinion. Yeah. The thing is, I think Konami quite often do hit consistency. That is one of the things they kind of are known for, is they'll be like, okay, how do we hurt this deck? All right, what we're going to do is we're going to hurt the consistency of the deck so that now less often will you be able to do the really strong stuff. And it's like, I get what you're going for. Right? Because technically, the win rate of the deck will go down. But you've done it in a frustrating way. And I think that is the most annoying part. Because a lot of the time, ideally, especially in a game like Duel Links, where you have skills, the whole point of the skill is to fix the holes in the strategy, right? It will allow the deck to play more consistently. And ideally, you want every deck to be very consistent. You just want those decks to have different like ceilings, right? The easier a deck to play is, ideally the weaker it will be. The harder a deck to play is, ideally the harder it will be. Now, I know that's not generally how it works out. Usually there is an easy deck that is always really, really powerful, but... Hello, Mr. Tomato, welcome back. I wish you're soon full recovery. Hello, Hunter, welcome, welcome. Yeah, we still got the cold. The cold is slowly working its way out of the system, though. They should just put Blazing and Theatre to 1, just to remove Blazing completely. Yeah, I think that'd be fine. They also seem to be much more vulnerable to hand traps, since you probably want to get their field spell and can't dodge easily with Branded and Red going second. Yeah, there is that. When Mercuria and Retribution as well to 1, so they would actually lose that as well. Maybe their logic is that if they want players to still have the potential for hype moments. The thing is, you can have hype moments, but still tone it down, right? If... like you say, the whole point is we want hype moments. The issue with that is skills are sort of antithetical to that a lot of the time. Because the way that skills generally work is that you will allow the deck to do its combo every time. Like, that's kind of how skills are designed, right? I will now follow the script to my deck, and every single duel I will try and reach the same end board. And my skill is going to help me get there. Now, that's not how every deck works, right? There are some times where it's like, okay, with this hand and this skill, I can get to this end board, instead of my ideal end board, which I would have needed exactly this hand, right? But for the most part, you follow sort of the same script. A lot of combos are quite linear. So, like, if we're talking about going for, like, hype moments, skills kind of work backwards from that, right? Where they don't lend themselves to generating hype moments, more they lend themselves to doing the same thing every time, right? But I don't know. Alright, Shinato's Judgment. No longer requires the shuffle back, but now only searches one card. It also lost the free change of heart. So this is fine. I don't know, Change of Heart is a weird card. I don't know how much this was being used and how much we saw Change of Heart doing a lot. It's still a +1 in the end, but it can fix your hand easily. Now, I don't, like I say, I'm not really a Shinato's Judgment player. They hate strong free-to-play. I think in an ideal world, free-to-play decks would rotate, right? You'd have, this is a free-to-play deck, this free-to-play deck's been around for a bit, now here's a new free-to-play deck. And they just keep replacing the best free-to-play deck. But obviously that's very idealistic. So Transcending Strength. You can only use the skill's second and third effects once per duel. You cannot normal... Wait, why am I reading this? You can now reveal any Rocket Tuner for a second effect, not just Rocket Synchron. The previous skills now operate like... Okay. Okay, this is like a nice little buff. It's kind of whatever. And the rest of that's kind of whatever as well. Okay, that's fine then. Removing the change of heart bullshit makes Shino less scary now if they go second. Well, there you go. I'm a Shino Bird player, and let me tell you. It does feel, though, like having it next to Branded, it feels like Branded got absolutely gutted, and Shinato's Judgment or Shino Bird got, like, nerfed, but, like, not in the same sort of degree. Is how it feels to me, at the very least. It doesn't matter if Rockets, unfortunately. They need better cards. It's a weird one. Be nice, Kim friend. I don't have to time you out. You're walking on thin ice. We will face Cringe Bird again. I mean, yeah. All of the bird decks, right? It's all of the bird decks, let's face it. Except Harpies. I like Harpies. We can let Harpies stick around. Maybe not in Rush. I don't really like Rush Harpies. Now the second part does not force any interruptions. Don't get it twisted. Shino Bird is gutted. I mean, is this, like, that bad? It doesn't sound that bad. I know how to kill bird decks. It's called a giant rock. There we go. Alright. Let's go to the leaks. Let's look at some of these speed leaks. We'll get through the speed decks. We've spent so long on speed already. It's not that bad. People are just overreacting. The core strategy is still there. The deck is okay. Also, buff to Rockets isn't really crazy because the problem wasn't consistent. It's the fact that you burn the extra so hard. I mean, that's fair. I remember Rocket was a deck that was just around for so long. Like, it was a deck that was just... Every time you'd, like, go to the ban list for almost, like, an 8-month period or something, it was just always on the tier list. It was just always there. It was like, oh, tier 1, now it's tier 3, now it's tier 1, now it's tier 3. It's a tag duel skill, right? I mean, we haven't read any of this yet, so we're just going to have a look. To activate once per duel during the main phase, your partner meets the activation requirements. Yeah, so this is a tag duel skill. Activates once per duel during the main phase, your partner. Yeah, so these are just tag duel. I don't think we really care about tag duel. Partner. Are these all just tag duel skills? Are they all tag duel? Partner. Oh, no. I thought we got real skills. Okay, numbers. Here we go. You can only use this skill's first and second effects once per duel. Can be used before your normal draw. Set one number 6, number 9, number 15, or number 40 from your extra deck or graveyard to your field. Its battle position can be changed. Then add number C monster with that same number from outside of your deck to your extra deck. One of the cards for your normal draw this turn will be Rank Up Magic Agent Argent Chaos Force from your deck. Second effect, reveal one level 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 monster or one spell card from your hand, then either place that card on the bottom of your deck, send it to the graveyard, draw 2 cards. So it's got that kind of generic thing that a lot of skills are getting now, which is like, yeah, just put a card back like to the graveyard or the bottom of your deck, and then draw 2 cards. Like, there's so many skills that have that line of text on them now, it's getting a bit weird. Number 6 and number 40 does nothing without materials on the original. Well, they must have a plan for that, right? Surely. Konami really on the Zexal hype this year. Rocket sucks, skill restriction too much. That's fair. I mean, I don't know. Like, Dyson Sphere Turbo could be funny. Gimmick Puppet is... meh. Because isn't Atlantis, didn't this just get hit? Like, hasn't this just gone to 1? I mean, does anyone think this skill is going to do anything? Hello, Mr. Tomato. Hello, chat. Hello, Sakadetsu. Welcome on in. I feel like this is kind of a flavor skill. This is like a... Oh, you like... You know, you like the Baryons? You can now roleplay Baryons with this skill. Second effect is good. I mean, the second effect is good, but like there are so many skills that have like this line of text on them, right? Those aren't Baryons. Are they not? Gimmick Puppet guy's a Baryon, right? The Chronomaly guy. Is the Chronomaly guy a Baryon? These are for the Arclights. I haven't watched the show. So I thought those were all the same thing. Tomato doesn't know what Arclight is. I've never heard of Arclight before. I've never seen... Well, I haven't watched all of Zexal. Again, we're getting through Vrains. Once we finish our Vrains watch-along, we're doing the Zexal watch-along. It's the next thing on the list. Can we make Tomato watch Zexal after Vrain? We've already said that. We're going to be doing that. That is the next thing on the list. Right, next up. Galaxy. All the people with the Transformers skills are Baryons. Yeah, but I don't keep track of all of those, who they are. Arclight says Zexal 1. Is that Season 1, or is that like a thing? Quattro, Trey, and whatever the Dyson Spheres guy name is. I honestly thought that Quattro was a Baryon. I just assumed. Obviously, that's wrong. The people with number 101 to 107. Quattro and Quinton. Why do you have to downgrade from Vrains to Zetral? I asked people. I said, which one would they rather we watch first? I was like, which one is going to be better? I said, specifically at the time, does it not make sense to watch Zexal first? Because the complexity of the duels, theoretically, should go down. Because we're going from, like, Master Rule 4 back to, like, Master Rule 2, right? But people were like, no, you need to watch Vrains. You need to watch Vrains. So we went on Vrains. Zexal 1 is the first half of Zexal. Zexal 2 is the Baryons. I see. What other anime should Tomato watch? I mean, we're watching anime, but we've got to get to the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. It feels like I'm a fake Yu-Gi-Oh fan because I haven't watched all of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, so we're getting through that. That's the plan at the moment. All right, Galaxy skill. You can only use the skill's second and third effects once per duel. You cannot normal or special summon monsters except rank 4 monsters, Galaxy, Number, and or Photon monsters. During this duel, you can treat Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon and Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon as level 4 monsters when you XE summon. Shuffle one card from your hand into the deck and play one Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon or Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your hand to your field. Then you can add one Galaxy or Photon monster from your deck to your hand. If you played Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, you can add up to 2 Galaxy or Photon monsters instead. So we shuffle a card from our hand into the deck. We play one boss monster from our hand. We add a Galaxy or Photon monster from your deck to your hand. And if the card we summoned was Photon Dragon, we add 2 cards instead. Okay. So we get to cheat out a boss. And we get to +1. Because we can add 2. Well, I guess it's a +0 if we summon Afterglow. It's a +1 if we summon Photon Dragon. Okay. Are you interested in Galaxy or Gimmick Puppets, Tomato? Not really. I mean, a Galaxy, I like Kite. I watched Arc 5, and I liked Kite so much. Or I think it's Kaito. I liked him so much. I went back and watched all of his duels, specifically, from Zexal. So I was like, this character is so awesome. I want to see more about this character. So I do quite like the Galaxy stuff. I gave my goat Kite a worse skill than Mizar. That's a shame. New meta wave arrive. Tomato stopped before the most important line of the skill. Well, we haven't got there yet. We were breaking down what was happening with the first bit. There's a lot of words going on there. So if only your opponent controls a monster, so if you're going second, you can play one number 90 Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord from outside of your deck to your field. Right, let's quickly take a quick peek at Photon Lord. Okay, it's this boy. If this card has a Photon card as a material, it cannot be destroyed by effects. Well, it won't have one because it's just getting cheated out. You can only use each effect of the following number 90 Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord once per turn. When an opponent's monster effect is activated, quick effect, you can detach one material from this card and negate that monster's effect. If the detached card was a Galaxy card, destroy that card. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can take one Photon or Galaxy card from your deck, either add it to your field or attach to this card's material. Okay, so we get a 3k defense or a 2500 attacker if we go second. We won't have any material on it on that turn, so it's just a body. but on our opponent's turn, we can yoink one of their... Oh, we can grab something from our deck. But then we still can't use the other effect, the first effect, until it goes back to our turn again. It was in the previous skill, but removed due to the nerf of the skill. Photon Lord is back. Krigo, hey Isla, welcome on in. It doesn't add materials. What will it do? Well, yeah, like I say, it comes out as just like a 3k wall or a 2500 guy. And then you have to, like, wait 2 turns till it actually does things. It's a bit weird. Second effect is to add material. Yeah, but it only does that during your opponent's turn. And when you do that, you then can't use the other effect to negate. Afterglow can attach itself. Ooh. If you control a Galaxy-Eyes monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. So I guess the logic is, ideally, you summon the Galaxy-Eyes dragon, Tachyon dragon, where the hell it's called, the regular Tachyon. You summon that one, so the skill activates, you get to search 2. Then you can just summon Galaxy-Eyes Afterglow Dragon using its effect. If this card is detached from X material to activate the monster's effect, you can target one Galaxy-Eyes Photon Dragon from your hand or deck. Just summon it. Wait, how do you attach this? Oh, or attach it to an Xyz monster you control as material. Oh, wait, so the whole point is... Wait a minute. Let me try and break this down. So. Oh, we can't make rank 8s. At all? No, we can summon Galaxy number or Photon monsters, so that is fine. Okay, so the strategy is we shuffle a card from our hand into the deck. We ideally play a Galaxy-Eyes Photon Dragon. Then we can cheat out Afterglow Dragon. Which we can get off of the effect, right? Because we can just grab the Galaxy-Eyes from the skill adding 2 Galaxy or Photon cards. We have both on the field. We also now have a free Photon Lord. Now we can go into a rank 8, use the rank 8's effect, detach Afterglow, and then put Afterglow onto either the monster we detached it from or our Photon Lord. Check all Galaxy-Eyes Xyz. Oh boy. Okay, I think we've got there. We'll try and catch up with chat again. Still skill locked Dedge, who's in the previous skill. Rank up, pop. Second effect to add material. Its purpose is just to rank up into a guy. Afterglow can attach itself. Baryons. Alito, Dumont, Garag, Miran/Rio, Mizar, Nash/Stark, Vector/Ray. Check all the Galaxy Xyz. Another Galaxy skill. Do me a favor and read Afterglow. I'm pretty sure your opponent wouldn't let you attach materials to your Photon Lord. Yeah, the logistic is too long. I mean, I get the vision. I see the vision with this. I don't know if it's going to be decent, but I think some people are going to try and cook with this and maybe come up with something. I am cautiously optimistic, I guess is the way I'm thinking about it. Next up, Nash. So this is going to be Nash's rerun, I assume, because Nash hasn't had his rerun yet? Question mark. So you can use this skill's first effect once per duel. If your extra deck contains at least one CXE's Baryon Hope. Send one number Xyz monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. My True Form, Baryon Battle Morph. Then, set one number 101 Silent Honor Arc from your extra deck to your field. Its battle position can be changed. Then, set one Baryon Utopia to your field from outside of your deck and add one Rank Up Magic Quick Chaos to your hand from outside of your deck. So it's a +2. Wait a minute. So we send a card from my extra deck. Then we get a free Honor Arc from the extra deck, a free Baryon Utopia, and a free Rank Up Magic Quick Chaos. If your opponent doesn't control a monster, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn. This seems okay. I don't know. This seems pretty okay. Nash rerun next month. There we go. Not Utopia, Untopia, the field spell. Yeah, okay. I'm skimming, right? We're not gonna get this, right? Because again, these are all references that are gonna go way over my head. Again, I have not watched this anime, right? So I'm gonna assume Baryon Untopia is meant to be like some horrific thing, and Yuma looks at it and goes,
Oh no! He's using Varian Untopia! Now none of my cards will work!
But I have no idea. Like I say, I haven't seen it. Check the new Galaxy Eyes XEs in the card database. I mean, we're going to get to the new cards that are released, right? We're going to get there. It's just a go second skill. Well, if you go first, yeah, it's going to be kind of tricky. It's going to be kind of tricky. As the field spell reference the world they was in, I guess, I don't know. Tomato thinks it's the 7th one. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, Bowz. I have no idea. You're just saying words now. Alright. Infinite Impermanent skill. You can use this skill's first effect once per duel. If your opponent controls a monster, or if you control a monster in the EMZ, set one Infinite Impermanence. I have 2 of that, by the way, so I can use this skill. From your hand or deck to your field. It can be activated this turn. If you set it from the hand, draw 1 card. Also, after that, you can send up to 2 cards from your hand to the graveyard, draw 1 card for each card sent. So this is... Part of me is like, is this even worth? Like, there are other generic skills that I think are just better than this. Like, obviously this is quite generic. If you can play Imperm, you can play this, right? But I think there are other generic stuff that's just a little bit better than this. I mean, this is fine, I guess. Orca skill, you can come back and play Orca tonight. The thing is, people have been saying that for every single time we've got a wave of skills for like the last 6 months. People have been like, Orca skill, this is going to revive Orcust. And it's always just like, discard a dark monster, draw 2 cards. And it never brings back Orcust. Pele will go crazy. I mean, I don't think this sounds crazy, personally. I think, again, we got the Stardust skill. That's just a better generic skill. Obviously, you know, you have to play 7 tuners, but that's a small price to pay, right? Orcus good now with Horus. Okay, I'll keep an eye on it. I'll tell you that much. Because the Horus cards are something I have had my eye on as well. Imperm on field gets the full effect. I mean, yeah, that's neat. But, Right, Shark. When you Xyz summon rank 3, 4, and 5 monsters, you can use fish monsters of any level. Okay, interesting. When you Xyz summon number 32 Shark Drake, you can summon it using a water number Xyz monster on your field, except for Shark Drake. Or anything that has Shark Drake in its name. I'm guessing there's a couple of Shark Drakes. You can normal summon 1 fish monster in addition to your normal summon / set each turn. This doesn't seem good. This seems like kind of whatever. Like, it's interesting, but I don't think this like does anything crazy. You can negate a whole column as well. Is Shark Drake the attack direct one? A Shark is all about Kaiser? This is shit. Yeah, my impression is that this doesn't read to be super great. Alright, Gimmick Puppets. Gimmick Puppets. Gimmick Puppets. You can only use this skill's 2nd and 3rd effects once per duel. If your deck contains at least 1 rank up magic, Argent Chaos Force. During the first turn of the duel, you cannot summon monsters to your opponent's monster zones, and your opponent takes no effect damage from your card effects. This line screams to me there is a bullshit FTK or floodgate crap that you can do with Gimmick Puppets, and we're just like, no, stop it. Yo guys, hello Hidden Bankai, welcome, welcome. Okay, effect 2. Shuffle 1 Gimmick Puppet Rogue Doll from your hand into the deck. Add a Gimmick Puppet monster or 1 Mansion of the Dreadful Dolls from your deck to your hand. So that's really a bit weird, because that only works with Rogue Doll. So unless we have cards to change the name of a card to Rogue Doll, or unless we have a way to search Rogue Doll, the second part of the skill is only going to be live if we draw like 1 of a 3 of in our deck. Number 3, if only your opponent controls a monster, or you control a face-up Gimmick Puppet Xyz monster, set 1 Puppet Trap card, or an Xyz spell from your hand or deck to your field. It can be activated this turn. Okay, I mean, this seems okay if we can guarantee we're going to get Rogue Doll. Yeah, and there is a world where they just play a different skill so they can FTK. Well, that's not ideal. The new Gimmick Puppet support is basically just one card FTK. What's funny is you don't need to skill to FTK. I remember because there was like Puppet Lock, right? That was like a big thing in TCG for a while. And I think people were playing that in Despia and Branded. So like, I mean, I don't know enough about Gimmick Puppets to really know for sure about any of that. All right, let's take a look at what we have here. A Bow AQ, the Lightless Shadow. What the heck is that? What was it? A Bow? This thing. I mean, which art do we like more? There's like chibi art and there's like non-chibi art. We'll go with the non-chibi art for now. Okay. Fiend, 2 monsters including a Fiend. During the main phase, quick effect, you can discard 1 card, then activate one of the following effects. Destroy 1 card in the field. Okay, discard a card, pop a card. Don't hate that. This is a Link 4 though. Banish this card until the end phase, and if you do, special summon 1 light or dark monster from your graveyard. During your standby phase, you can draw cards equal to the number of different monster types in your graveyard, then place cards from your hand on the bottom of the deck in any order equal to the number of cards you drew. Also kind of The fact that this is in standby phase, kind of Grill! I pray Konami just put dark strings to 1, but Konami dumb, so they props not. They'll put it as like a box UR or something, and just let it like terrorize the metagame for a while. Use AI to copy the card name. What does that mean? You want me to like put it into a like pronouncing thing? You want it to like say it out loud? A Bower Q, the Lightless Shadow. Just gonna go with that. Basically, Fiend support. They're used in Live Twins. Okay. I mean, I don't mind Live Twin getting a bit of support. Hold up, no monster luck. No. Tomorrow I have planted nearly every Digimon to use for my new playthrough. I need a suggestion from you so I can use it. Doesn't have to be good. What, or any Digimon? You want me to just tell you any Digimon, and then you're going to use it? Is that what we're doing? I need to understand the rules here. Fiendsmith. This card is played in Fiend Pile, most anyway, or Live Twins. Okay. His name was so weird that I had to go and look it up. Yes. Oh, any Digimon. Any Digimon. That is a tricky one. Alright. This is a bit of a weird one. My favorite Digimon growing up was Metal Mamemon. So I'm gonna say Metal Mamemon because I think that is a Digimon most people wouldn't ever bother to use. That is an ultimate level Digimon, I want to say. Alright. We're not going to look up all of these, by the way. We're just going to take a look at what these are. So, Gimmick Puppet, Fanta X... I do want to look that up, though, because I do want to look at what the hell this Gimmick Puppet is. Gimmick Puppet. Oh, we spelled Puppet well wrong. We spelled it exceeding... How have we put so many P's in? How did I even manage that? Right, what was his full name? Gimmick Puppet Fanta. Right, we're going to look at Fanta. Everyone loves Fanta, right? Ooh. This just looks like Quattro, right? Or 4. So you could detach 1 material from this card. Oh, this is not even the right one, right? Oh, because this is Gimmick Puppet. Shouldn't it have like a C number on it? Okay, Tomato, I got you. If anyone else says it's Digimon, I'll take suggestions. Just check any TCG Gimmick Puppet and you will see the new support. Old Gimmick Puppet support is still going to be scary with the new cards. Dark Strings. Right, we'll look up Dark Strings, since that's what Shui wants us to look up. Okay, so when this card is special summoned, destroy the monsters with string counters. And if you do, draw 1 card. Why is it the monsters? It's not destroy every monster on the field with a string counter. This says destroy the monsters with string counters, which is worded very strangely. If you do, draw 1 card. Then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the highest original attack among the destroyed monsters to the graveyard, your choice for Tide. Once per turn, you can attach 1 extra material from this card to place a string counter on each face-up monster on your opponent controls. Okay. So you just get to, like... How does this work? So you have to summon it, use its effect, then get it off the field, and then bring it back. Or summon a second one? Something along those lines. Darkstrings is the burn card. And with all the FTKs running rampant in Duel Links, guess might as well bring in the Gimmick Puppet FTK from Master Duel as well. Hello, Mikro. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I don't know, man. These cards have to come out eventually, right? They have to. They're anime cards as well, so it makes sense. Like, Duel Links is their home, right? That's where all anime cards go. That being said, I can't imagine this is going to be super healthy. Already planned as a starter. It's not clear if we get this card. The normal number 40 puts counters on everything on field. Oh, there we go then. Okay. It's all part of the FTK strategy. The purpose of FTK is to summon 2 to 3 Dark Strings turn 1. Oh boy, that sounds like fun. We like FTKs. They're so fun and fair. A lot of the time, it isn't even about like how fair they are. It's just about like not being fun for the most part. All right, it looks like we're getting a lot of stuff here, right? So we got a load of clear cards. We got a couple more Drytron. New Evil Twin, Galactic Karibo. We've got some more Galaxy cards. More Gimmick Puppets. Live Twin, Maiden in Love. Is that the GX card used by Blanche, whatever her name was? Mansion of Dreadful Dolls, Neo Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. Okay, we'll look that one up. Prime Photon. So this is the one we're getting. If it will hang on there. 3 level... Okay, so we're going to be summoning this most of the time using a rank up card. At the end of the battle phase, you could attach 1 material from this card. This card can make up to 3 attacks on monsters during this at the start of the battle phase. Make up to 3 attacks on monsters. If this card has Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon's material, it gains these effects. Unaffected by your opponent's monster's effects. Gain attack equal to the combined level and ranks of its attached materials times 100. So this is just a big, silly, I'm going to try and kill you card. It's a big finisher. The true meta threat. Clear. Exactly. They made a TCG retrain of Maiden in Love for the Maze set. I see. With the right skill, Clear could be a menace. I mean, with the right skill, any deck could be a menace, right? I mean, we saw Rebecca, who has a skill for Luster Dragon and Luster Dragon number 2, be a meta contender, right? It just goes to show, you give her a powerful enough skill. Man, so much Gimmick Puppet stuff. I wish I had gems for that, but Rush comes first. That's Chaos version, not base. Yeah, but it was the Chaos version, right? It was the Neo Galaxy Eyes one. C62, Neo Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. And this is number C62, Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. So this is the card we're looking at. Can I use 6 Maiden in Love, or are they considered the same card? Just wait until the Dust On skill. Oh, it's gonna go hard. Alright, Photon Delta Wing, Photon Emperor, Photon Jumper, Photon Time Stop, Photon and Puppet Shark. Puppet Shark, just... I don't like that. Is it a gimmick puppet? Is it a shark? No one will truly know. A Saga of the Dragon Emperor, Service Puppet Play, Ultimate Bright Knight, Osatron. We're getting more Osatrons? Okay. And then all the VW cards. I mean, who doesn't love the naming conventions of the VWs? Is anyone here excited for VWs? Anyone here like a big VW player? A Delta summons another copy of itself. The other level 4 summons a Galaxy monster from the graveyard. It's the Arsatic Fusion, I think. I mean, we could take a look at it quick, right? What's it called? Osatron Alpha. No, it's not that one. Do we not have it on Duel Link, on DLM yet? No, it is this one, right? Ultimate Bright Knight. Ultimate Bright Knight. Okay, it is this one. Okay, this card is always treated as an Asarctic and a Drytron card. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned by a card effect. If you control an Asarctic or Drytron monster, except Ultimate Bright Knight Ursatron Alpha. This name is going to be the end of me. You could special summon this card from your hand. Then you can add one Asarctic or Drytron spell trap from your deck to your hand. Okay. I mean, this seems pretty good for those strategies. Alpha is the custom Drytron Asarctic card. VW could go well with Punks. Yeah? Ursartron. Ursarctic support feels okay, man. Hey, Duke. Welcome on in. But the new Drytron Ritual seems pretty good, but I don't know if we get a second Synchro one. I guess they were waiting for Drytrons to come out to release Ursartron. I mean, it makes sense, right? It's an interesting one, though. I think that's kind of it, guys. I think that's it for the speed stuff, which means we're going to be moving on to the rush stuff now. So, you know, anyone that was just here for the speed stuff, appreciate you coming by. Out of all of the speed stuff, I have got to say, for me specifically, there's not a ton here for me. I think out of all of it, the most interesting stuff for me is the Galaxy stuff. I think the Galaxy skill is interesting, and I quite like, you know, the Galaxy, the Photon cards. I like Kite, or Kaito, depending on Japanese or English. So, like, that's the most interesting thing for me, personally. As for, like, I don't know, the number stuff is kind of whatever. I don't really care about Nash. I think the Imperm stuff's kind of whatever. I don't really care about Gimmick Puppets. But, like, I don't know, it's a bit of a weird one for me. Kaito the Goat. Exactly. Nitro Rituals is pretty good, but I don't know if we get a second Synchro one. Jukemon is in the chat. Kaito the Goat, finally. As Giorfio would say, Ursesso. Exactly. I've just been jaded about speed in general. I mean, that's fair. Like, for me, it's like, if there's a deck that I'm interested in, I will genuinely get into it. Like, I was excited for Branded. I bought, well, Despia came out. I got all the Despia cards. I played it for a bit. I was like, I don't really like how this deck is playing. So I kind of dropped it. Then we got the second wave of Branded. I was like, this is better, but this is still not super gelling with me. Like, I haven't really felt as excited to play Speed as I was when I started playing Dinos. I think Dinos was so much fun. I love dinosaurs so much. Other than that, like, it's just the Fluffle Orcust stuff. I love the Fluffle Orcust deck. I love pure Fluffle, even though it's bad. I love Orcust, even though it's bad. But I play Branded Dogmatica, and it's cool. I mean, that's the thing, right? It just comes down to, like, what you like. And it's like, do you like playing a bad deck as well? Like, if you like playing a bad deck, that's fine as well. If you can get enjoyment out of that. But that is, as we say, going to do it for all of the speed stuff. So now we're going to be jumping over to Rush. We're going to be doing all the Rush stuff now. So we'll start here. Where better place to start? I play Branded ILO. I mean, I like Branded. I like the idea of Branded. I just don't like the Duel Links version of Branded, personally. It's just not, just doesn't gel with me. How many white Albaz do you have? That's a very important question. Alright. Limit 1. Rainapolis. Rainapolis is... This is fine. So, Rainapolis is mandatory. The deck doesn't really work without this card. The skill works with Rainapolis. You can't get the draw off of your Cure Maiden with Rainapolis. Rainapolis is just a good card in general. Boosting your attack, reducing your opponent's attack is just really good. Putting this to 1 is good. Why is it good? Because it means you take out all the other limit 1s from the decks. That does mean that things like Pot of Greed, things like Compulsory Evacuation Device, things like Negate Attack, all of these cards which are seeing a lot of play, maybe not Compulse as much, but the other ones, definitely seeing a ton of play. So we're basically saying, okay, you are not allowed limit 1s anymore. That means you're now restricted on what other legends you can put in the deck. This is fine, realistically. I just got my paycheck, it's fine. Who's the new character coming? It is Euro is who we're getting for Rush. Remember to get Ecclesia Synchro as well, hidden. I basically just need the B Pro. So yeah, Rainapolis, I'm happy to see this hit. This is fine. I think if you're gonna hit this deck, it's this and Cornfall that you need to hit, right? LA Circulation. Once again, thank you for hitting this card. This card has been so good for so long, has been played in so many different decks. This was seeing play in the Maximum Floodgate deck. This is seeing play in the other Yami Ruler Floodgate deck. This is seeing play in Baseball. This is seeing play in Music Princess. This is seeing play in Neos, which is fine because it should be in Neos. It's also seeing play in Elemental Hero, which again is also fine. The point is there are so many decks making use of this card. Oh, we shouldn't also forget like Miss Mutton, another OTK deck. Finally, putting this to 3. We've been asking for this for months and months and months and months. Finally, it has been hit. Now, it's only limit 3. And that's fine. I think I personally would have rather seen heavier hits to Music Princess, because spoiler alert, this is the only hit to Music Princess. Which is fine, but Music Princess doesn't need circulation. Circulation helps, it makes the deck more consistent, but they don't need it. The ceiling of that deck is unchanged. It's just now you get there a little bit less of the time. So it's like, I still feel that Music Princess is going to be a really strong contender going into the next GRF. And especially because Aqua has now been hit, it's now going to be like the obvious pick. It's going to be that. I think Aqua will still be played, and it will still be relatively strong. But Aqua is just going to feel like a little bit weaker, I guess is the way to think of it. It is like a slap on the wrist to Aqua, and an even lighter slap on the wrist to Music Princess. That's kind of how I look at this. Basics to the V-Pro, circulation hit, let's go. Thank you, Konami. This is played in everything. I actually thought they would never hit it. Hey, Tomato, is it possible that Euro will have the Harpy Maximum Monster? I mean, there's always a chance. There's always a chance. To be fair, I don't think it's fine in Hero. Hero deserved another hit. I do think the best way to hit Hero is to put Cirque to 3, and then you just leave Starry Start alone, personally. I think that would have been the best thing to do. But spoiler alert, we unlimited Starry Start. So it's like, oh, we've hit Hero, and then we've unhit Hero. It's like, but again, Hero is kind of on that fringe where, like, not a lot of people play it at the moment. Like, it's not seeing a ton of, like, tournament representation. People aren't also seeing it in... Well, then it's not seeing, like, widespread play, I suppose, in the Deckmaster Cups, which is, like, the other competitive outlet we've had recently. So because it's not seeing a ton of representation, I think it's kind of slipping under the radar a little bit. This happened before, where people stopped playing Hero. And everyone went, oh, Hero's bad now. And then people just started playing Hero again. And then people were like, oh, wait, no, Hero is actually still one of the best decks. So it's a weird one. But yeah, circulation, I'm glad to see this hit. I would have liked to see Hero hit again, as Dwan has said. I mean, Harpy Maximum Monster. I mean, yeah, but they already have it, right? So it's just like, is he going to get a line for it? I mean, he definitely could. If he has lines for all the Harpies, I think that is going to be a sign that he's going to be our Harpy duelist, right? Buffed Metarian will hurt Music Princess. I don't think it matters, is the answer. I don't think having Starry Start unlimited is a big enough buff to Metarian that's going to matter. And Type Change Beam doesn't affect Music Princess because they're already warriors, so it's irrelevant, right? Unless you're going to change them into like dragons or something and pop them with Vitrastar, it's completely irrelevant. So I don't think the Metarian changes are going to have any impact on its matchup specifically against Music Princess. Alright, Cornful Charity next. This to limit 3 is fine. So a lot of decks, a lot of the Aqua decks, are playing Overrush Storm. So Cornful Charity to 3 basically forces them off of Overrush or puts them down to 2 Cornful, like 1 Overrush. I think what's more likely is they're probably going to stick to 3 Cornful. Because you could just play Hydration. Hydration is fine, right? Like, the main benefit you get from Overrush is that you get to put cards back in your deck, so you can recycle your Abyss Soldier, and you can also put back your, like, Nuvias back into the deck for the skill. And then beyond that, it's like, I don't want to deck out, right? That's kind of it. So, Cornfall to 3 I think is fine. I don't think it's, like, anything, like, super crazy. It's nothing too drastic. People, it'd be cool he's using Harpies, thanks. You mean the 2 missing copies of L and R pieces? As a 0-gem player, I would like to use Harpies again. I think the only way Harpy becomes free to play is if they make it like a challenger deck. Like they did for Gaia last year. And they just give everyone a Harpy deck, right? The only issue with that is, we haven't got a Harpy skill leaked, and if they were going to give us a challenger deck, we'd have to... Well, you wouldn't have to, but you would expect it before the GRF, and we're not expecting another big app update until after GRF. So, we would expect the skill to have been data mined already, I suppose. I mean, Metarian will be broadly more viable, meaning Music Prince will run into it more. The thing is, we've seen in the Deckmaster Cup, the first 2, where you were able to swap decks consistently, people swapping in Metarian against Music Princess, and it found very middling results. So it's not quite as simple as Metarian just beats Music Princess, because a lot of the time Music Princess is just strong enough, it just beats Metarian anyway. So I don't think there just being an uptick in seeing that matchup is going to affect much. Making sure we're all hydrated. Tight Change Beam being unlimit is unreasonable. Just bring back the most annoying card from that deck, because why not? I agree with Dwan again. We're going to say that a lot, I think. I think in general, I just kind of agree with Dwan a lot today. But I don't like Type Change Beam. Metarian on its own is fine. The only, like, super cringe part of Metarian is Lamau, Ashura Star, Type Change Beam, absorb all your attack, GG. And it's like what have you done? There's very little counterplay to that, because the counterplays just don't have big attack monsters on the board. Don't play monsters face up. And for most decks, that's not really viable if you want to win. Your game plan doesn't facilitate playing in that way. So if it wasn't for the combination of exactly Ashura Star and Type Change Beam, I wouldn't give a shit about Type Change Beam, because that card exists. Like, if you're doing it with, like, Vritra Star, if you're doing it with Hercules Star, I don't care. That's fine. You can do it with those cards. But I specifically hate it when it's being used with Ashura Star. The issue is there's no good way to cancel those two out outside of just getting rid of Type Change Beam. So Overrush used to recycle, so having just hydration is way better for us facing Aqua. It is, but, like, I don't know how much the recycling matters a lot of the time. Like, it definitely is relevant, and it is going to affect the gameplay, but I don't think it's going to affect it in such a way where you're going to be like, Aqua is now so much weaker. It is, like, unplayably bad after these changes. I think it's going to be fine. But now Cirque nerfed? Yeah, but again, first off, not all Music Princess lists were playing Circulation in the first place. Second off, a lot of the time, you would play against Music Princess and they just wouldn't resolve Circulation, because you need to find Cirque and you need to find an Avian. A lot of the time, they just weren't finding both those cards together. So Circulation wasn't even being used 100% of the time. So it's not going to drastically affect it. Like, realistically, that matchup is not going to change, right? It is still going to go to Music Princess most of the time. Now, Music Princess can still brick. That is still something that happens. But realistically, Music Princess is still going to beat Metarian more than it loses to it. Cirque is nerfed for Music Princess also. I mean, yeah, we already know that. We already talked about that. But not much, because they just play the newly unlimited instead. The card is so dumb. Yeah. Right, Unlims. Rice Terrace Crisis. So, this card is interesting. We only have one copy of it. So, it's going to come down to if Secret Order is doing really well, I think we might start seeing Rice Terrace Crisis seeing a bit more play. The issue is, against some decks, this just doesn't do anything. Like, there are a lot of decks where this flat out is not activatable. So it's like, it's kind of tricky. But this could be a good, like, meta call if, like, Secret Order is really powerful. Is there a D in Keto Fusion? There is not. There most certainly is not. Alright, Can Melody. So this is a good card. This card just in general is good. The problem is, we are at a time in Rush's life cycle where all of the good decks are not hard tributing out monsters, right? You're not, like, tributing 2 to summon out a guy. This deck still has to do that, which means if you're going to gain value from that, you have to either have a load of ways to plus, right? Because you have to, like, plus a load of bodies back. But if you have things like Roman Pick is a good way to plus, right? You have, like, Ordle, which you could maybe use as well to get another free plus. Like, there are ways to get lots of pluses, so maybe it's not as bad as, like, I'm otherwise thinking. But this card effect is still really good. Shuffling any face-down card from your opponent's field into the deck is really good, especially considering this card hasn't really seen play since we had Curse of the Rising Light put into the game. Curse just works quite well with this, right? You can just flip something down and then get rid of it. And if your opponent activates a trap card before you do that, getting that extra 2 draws is also really, really good. So, I don't know how good this is going to end up being, but I'm at the very least looking to cook with this and see if there is anything here. I don't know if there's gonna be, but I really like Psychic. I think this is a really fun deck, and this is a strong card, like, within a vacuum, so I'm curious to see how it's going to go. Shiny Shady is becoming worse, so Melody is worse. Shiny Shady is becoming worse, so Melody is worse. It depends what you mean by that, right? Because, theoretically, if Shiny Shady is very popular, and you just go ahead and hard tribute 2 monsters to summon out a Melody, and your opponent uses Shiny Shady on you, that now hurts, right? Because now you have invested so many resources into a boss monster that's just been flip face down. So that feels really bad. Whereas if you like Shiny Shady, your opponent's like, I don't know, they're Jointech Rex, right, for example. That feels bad for the Shiny Shady player, because now you feel like you haven't got much value off of your Shiny Shady. So it's a tricky line to walk, right? If Shiny Shady is more popular, then it's going to hit Melody more, which is going to suck. But if Shiny Shady is less popular, then you're going to be using your own Shiny Shady less, which means you won't be flipping down their stuff. That being said, you could just go out of your way to play Shiny Shady in a deck like this. Plus, the main reason that Shiny Shady is not as played as it was before is because the number of decks that Shiny Shady work on is decreasing, right? Because we have the brand new D-Linker deck. That deck cheats cards out onto the board using a skill, which means they're never summoned. That means you can't Shady in response to a summon, right? And then we just have the normal monster decks, which is, you know, normal monsters are unaffected by Shady. So as long as new decks come into the game that don't just cheat things onto the board and aren't normal monster decks, Shady's viability just goes up and up and up and up, right? Bear? So there is, like, Ice Pot Bear, if you talk about Ice Pot Bear. Ice Pot Bear is still limit 3. We are in an ad break. So we will wait for the ads. Two, one. Welcome back from the ads, anyone that got hit with ads. So as Toti said again, doesn't your opponent Shady that own stuff sometimes, so this could be punished? It could be. I don't know how often that's going to matter, but it could do. Absolutely could do. Absolutely could do. I'm hyped for the win normal monster beatdown. Can I ask why? I don't know. Normal monsters to me are so boring that I'm like, why would we want normal monster decks? It's just not my cup of tea. Like, I think it says a lot about me when you find out the decks that I like. The decks that I really like in OCG are Spark Cards, which is like a super like fast-paced, combo-oriented deck with like lots of plays to make. I like Celebros, another super fast-paced, high combo deck, lots of different lines, lots of different like activations going on a single turn. I also really like Secret Agents, which is again, it's a little bit less than those two, but it's still combo-ish. It's doing a lot of things in a turn. It's gaining a lot of advantage. I like drawing lots of cards. I like having lots of different combo lines to like think through and find like the perfect line to do. So whenever I look at like a normal monster spam deck, my brain goes, we just don't do anything. You just summon normal monsters. Stupid ad. I mean, we did pause the stream while the ad was there. We did stop. We had a swig of water. We always pause when we have the ads, so I guess they could do it versus Candy Live, but I'm not sure there's room for Melody in that deck. But hello, Gumkin Sushi. Sorry, who's rude? But we love D-Linker. D-Linker's great. There's nothing wrong with D-Linker. Alright. Dragius. So, does this matter? Is there a good stuff aggro deck that we would play Dragius in that would be meta viable? Because the only thing I can think of is like you can play this card alongside like Straight Pierce and like a Wind Warrior engine to get like a 4500 double attack, but even that is like not super useful. I'm saying you hate normal monsters when I'm right here. Oh, I get the joke now. I get the joke. I mean, I hate normal monster focused strategies. I would make an argument that Suships is not a normal monster focused strategy. It just has a normal monster in it. I can now play Dragius with Blue Fang in my auto-duel deck. The real victories. I hope we get 7's Gears. I don't want 7's Gears, but that's a whole other kettle of fish. Blue Fang. What does this change? What does this change, guys? We get the ability to play limit 3s in high tech. High tech doesn't have any limit 3s it wants to play, so I don't think this matters. You can play Overrush Storm in this deck, but high tech wants its graveyard full of dragons so that you can put them back using your red boot effects. So it's like, does that even matter? I don't know. I don't think this does anything at the moment. Dragius is back to 3. I can return to Duel Links. Exactly. It's time, Bella. It's time. High tech can play 2 kinds of back row hate now, I guess. I mean, I guess that's something. It just comes down to, are you going to have room for like 4 to 6 back row hate? Join tech plus high tech fusion incoming. Unironically, because I was going to say this once we went through, the reason to unhit some of these cards might be because we have stuff coming up in the next product, right? So we mentioned before, Can Melody might be getting unhit because we might be getting psychic support, right? We might be getting like the other Prima fusions, right? So there might be something coming. Like you say, we could get the Jointech Rex Blue Fang fusion in the next box. That is within the realm of possibility. I don't know what we'd be getting with Dragius, though. Dragius is kind of already being used in a bunch of different stuff. Pause, champ. So Konami's secretly saying us dragons good now? Well, high-tech dragons is already good. So, like, if you like the high-tech dragons, that deck's already doing fine. Do you like high-tech Rex Fusion Tomato? Not really. It's nothing super exciting to me. To me, I like when boss monsters from the anime fuse together because it's exciting. But, like, is that Lucio HTX with the raid? Welcome, welcome, my friend. Let's give you a shout-out as well. Hope your stream went well. Bam. How did I get it wrong? How did I spell it wrong? What did I do? We're going to do this again. We're going to get this right. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Yeah, we did it. We did it. Yeah, welcome, welcome on him. Luke Man coming. It could be, but like what? The only reason to unlimit this is because it clashes with something else. So the question becomes, what would you release that's going to clash with Dragius and you want Dragius in that deck, right? It's like it's a weird one. Then we have Dynamix. Yeah, Dynamix is here. It's here. It went well. I was playing Drytron, also 7 Road best deck. 7 Road is a cool one. I've always really liked Spellcasters. Spellcasters have always been one of my favorite decks, so I'm always a big fan of that. Drytron is a cool one as well. Drytron's a weird one. I always hated Drytron in Master Duel, but I haven't actually seen much of it in Speed, because I haven't really been playing Speed much, to be honest. But yeah, we've just finished going over all the Speed stuff. We went over all the Speed leaks, we went over all the Speed reveals, we went over the Speed... just all the Speed stuff, I guess. The Speed ban list, we went over all that. And now we're taking a look at the Rush stuff. WoW Dynamics Unlimited plus Wasteland Tier 0 for sure, Konami. It's gonna be amazing. Something tells me it's just gonna be ass. The question is, why unlimit it now? Other than, like, there's no reason for it to be limited. Because this card does get... I assume we have the other side pieces. Yeah, we have these, like, the other side pieces that we'll get in the future that you can attach to this card. When we get these, Dinosaur might actually be a real deck. Like, it genuinely might be a real deck. This is also the only... I suppose it's this deck and Outerverse. I want to say the only maximum decks where you have different side pieces. So you can, like, change your wheels, effectively. Dynamax Unlimited and Wasteland Holy Moly. Konami Forgore. There might actually be Dino support eventually. Seeing Dragius Tomato, it reminded me of how painful to see Yuga saying goodbye. We don't talk about that here. We don't talk about the sad memories. But yeah, these cards genuinely quite good. Send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. This card can destroy opponent's card effects. And then Maximum Mode, send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, return 1 monster on the opponent's field to their owner's hand. So you pop 2 of their monsters, you return another one. Guess what? All 3 of their monsters are gone. We can now attack directly. And that is what makes this deck actually playable. Then we have Starry Star. OTS kind of does. They aren't max pieces that give different effects, but are treated as max so you can maximum summon. Yeah. I mean, it's a different style, but you get the point, right? It's not just limited to just the 3 cards. You have other cards you can mix in. Starry Start is... This card's fine. I mean, obviously, the reason this was unhit was to help out very specifically heroes, because they wanted to limit Cirque. So they're like, okay, if we're limiting Cirque, we don't want to hurt heroes, so we're going to unlimit Starry Start. Is there, like, a good knock-on effect from this? Like, Manicus was saying before, like, Yami Ruler. I did mention that in the video we put out today as well. Does anyone actually think Yami Ruler is going to be, like, suddenly playable because Starry Start is unlimited again? I don't know, man. All it basically means is you can now play the deck as it was, like, a year and a half ago. Which, I don't know. Maybe Music Princess will use Starry Start now? Oh, I don't know about that. Starry Start is for Noodles, surely? Would you even want to play this in Noodles? The issue is, one of the Noodle skills that we got has a little line of text on it that says you can't fusion summon for the rest of the turn. Which is super awkward. Is that Icy Gamer in the chat? We should always do... Ugh. Exclamation mark Icy in the chat. Got a shout out to the boys. Hello, hello, Icy. I should have actually been doing exclamation marks for everyone else. Because Shui was here. So we should do exclamation mark Shui. Grand was here. I don't know. Is it exclamation mark Grand? Yeah, it was exclamation mark Grand. We haven't used that one in a while. But yeah, we should shout out everyone. I'm really bad at doing it. I get just caught up in what I'm doing. But hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, Icy. Psychics are an obvious one. Psychic is a weird... It's a strange one, right? Starry Start, in my opinion, is not good enough now on its own. Unless you have a ton of different things you can do with it. So it works really well in Metarian, and it works really well in Heroes. Because both materials that you need are normal monsters. And you can use, like, 4 different normal monsters in your main deck. When you have just, like, a target and, like, a fusion, it gets a bit blurry of, like, am I always going to have access to the normal monster and the fusion in my graveyard? If they're easily able to get them into the graveyard, then yeah, Starry Start's great. If you're not easily able to get them both into the graveyard, Starry Start becomes very, like, gamble, right? It becomes very kind of win more. And I don't like that personally. Are you excited for the Rush ban list? Yes. My one major I guess it's two major criticisms. One, Hero got a hit, and then they got an unhit. I think Hero should have gotten some sort of actual hit, rather than a nothing hit. I guess Tight Change Beam as well. I forgot about this card. I hate this card, so I don't want this card unhit. And then other than that, I think that Music Princess should have got slightly bigger hit. I don't think it needed like a murder hit, but I think it needed something else taken out. Like, it needed to lose, like, 1 copy of Ballet might have killed the deck. It definitely would have made it a lot less consistent. Maybe we reduce the number of, like, Tabadish, or we reduce the number of Action Melody in the extra deck down to, like, 1 or something. Like, they needed something. It needed something changed. But, as is, I still think it's going to be really, really strong going into the tournament. A Psychic skill lets them add/send stuff to graveyard. Yeah, but it's still irrelevant unless you have a way to exactly get Fusion and the normal monster into the graveyard pretty much on the same turn. If you're not doing that, Starry Start becomes a bit of a liability. Because again, you have to remember, that strategy was good over a year ago, right? All this does is lets us go back to playing that deck as it was over a year ago. And unfortunately, a deck from a year ago is just not going to be able to compete in the current metagame, right? When is the next Rush tourney? I mean, maybe there is a Quantum on today? Maybe? I don't know. I'm curious to know if there will be or not. But there might not be. I took them long enough to unlimit the dinosaur maximum. Yeah, it was really weird that it was limited for so long. So then we get Tight Change Beam. And again, I've already spoken about this card today, but I don't like this card. I really don't. I think this card is fine, except when it is used exactly with Ashura Star, and then it just becomes super lame. I took long enough to unlimit Dinosaur. Too bad it was as relevant as freaking Hyper Vulcan. I mean, Vulcan actually did okay. Like, it topped a couple of tournaments. Dinosaur didn't. Dynamix never did. But Dynamix, again, will get more relevant in the future, so that's at least something. But yeah, that's it for those. Then we'll go down to the skill change. So we got one skill change. Neos Contact Raw. This skill change is nice. It doesn't really change the ceiling. It's kind of a quality of life thing. It's fine. I don't think it solves any of the problems this deck has. And one of the fundamental issues this deck has is that its ceiling is just not as high as other decks. So it's like, eh. Hey, Dark Tuna, welcome on in. So, like, I'm happy this is getting this change. I don't think it's going to suddenly make Neos much stronger. I think, if anything, it's the fact that a lot of the top-tier decks have been nerfed slightly, and this is getting buffed slightly. Might bring them more in line a little bit, but I don't think it's going to, like, have a massive impact. Which is a shame. Yeah, you're right. We also can't forget that before we started getting ritual stuff, we got new... we got new with dinosaur cards. Yes. The new dinosaur maximum stuff and the new level 10 that we got were both really good. What's the change? So you can now add Hero Descent from the deck. So before, you had to add Hero Descent from the graveyard. Now you can add it from deck or graveyard, but it's still only once per duel. So Hero's Descent is a really interesting card because it's kind of a... It's sort of either like a bad Secret Order or like a bring back 2 low levels, which are both good effects. But because of that, it's sort of not like a +1, right? Like when you use the skill, you get a +1, but that +1 could be a +2 because this card could turn into 2 bodies, right? So like it's a weird one. But yeah, there we go. That is the list. So now we're going to go take a look at the leaks, I think. I think leaks is the next thing on the menu. Actually, before we look at the leaks, let's go and take a look at... Because we didn't actually look at the upcoming. This is what we're to look at. So, announced cards. We're getting Virtual World Beast Juju. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are quite happy for this. We're also getting Colossal Fighter Assault Mode. I actually really like this card. Do I have one? I think I have a Colossal Fighter Assault Mode lying around. A Colossal Fighter Assault Mode. Just lying around in a pile. So I really like this card. I think this card looks really cool. But I'm confused why there are 2 normal rarity cards banned. I missed a lot. Oh hey, another shot at getting Colossal Fighter Assault Mode. Well, there it is. So I'm happy about these cards, right? But we'll take a look at the rush ones quick, right? So Meteor Dragon Nails. Equip this card to 1 face-up Earth, Fire, or Dark attribute dragon monster. It gains 300 attack. Okay, that's wank. That's just awful. Also, if it is a non-effect fusion monster, so if it is what? Black Skull Dragon or Black Meteor Dragon, it gains an additional 700, so it goes 1,000 attack, and cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Now, again, not being destroyed by card effects, not as crazy relevant, but it can be, depending on the matchup, I suppose, but this card's a bit awkward, right? Then we have Storm Sonic. So if you have 2 or more face-up wind attribute monsters in your field, 1 face-up monster on your opponent's field loses 600 attack. Yeah. Then if you have a Cybertech Alligator on your field, you can destroy 1 card of the opponent's field. Now, that second effect is actually pretty good, but I don't know if that means this is actually worth running in pretty much anything. But it's cool that it's here. Then we get Cyber Hammercop. So 1200 attack. You normal summoned this card this turn, and you have a face-up wind attribute normal monster on your field. Add Following World from your graveyard to your hand. And we'll take a look at what that is in a minute. But this is not awful. It's not awful. Then we have the announced character, Full Speed Ahead, and this is going to be Euro. We all know this is Euro. And then we have the other character getting released. When the Forbidden Door is opened, the Light of the Orichalco shall rain judgment upon the painted world. I've seen a lot of people thinking this could be Darts. I'm kind of hoping it's one of these 3. But it'd be interesting to see which one it actually is. We had it already. Fun fact, I already play that in a Yusei warrior deck. Oh, a Yusei is in the character Yusei. That does contain certain starter stuff. It's already in the game, just nobody played it. What were your thoughts on the field spell added to the card trader a few days ago? Wasteland? Wasteland is a nothing card. None of the field spells that are just 200 attack mean anything. I mean, let's be honest, Rainapolis barely means anything. Like, it's just there because you get it for free. Otherwise, people just probably wouldn't even bother playing it unless they really wanted the Cure Maiden effect, so it's kind of whatever. Poor Monarch struggle against the Kemi equip. Now the random Dragon Nail. I mean, yeah. It's gonna be a thing, right? So Wave Duel Scramble is where we're getting Meteor Dragon's Nails and Juju. Then the new character is... So these are going to be Euros drops. Sonic Storm and Cyber Hammercop. Tour Guide Bingo is going to give us the Colossal Fighter. So, something that isn't said here. There is no reference here to Sabu Ramen, who is the other character that we've sort of had leaked. So that is very interesting. It's very interesting that that's the case. But let's jump in first and take a look at the first leaked skill. So this is our first one. Black Skull Dragon. So it can be activated from turn 2 onward by revealing one Meteor Dragon or a Red Eyes Black Dragon in your hand. If the only level 5 or higher monsters in your constructed deck are Meteor Dragon, Meteor Drake, and Red Eyes Black Dragon. So first things first, Red Eyes Black Dragon in hand could also refer to 2 different cards. One of which we already have, which is the Red Eyes Moon Dragon. That card counts as Red Eyes while in the hand. So that means to activate this effect, you have to reveal one of your 3 Meteor Dragons, your Red Eyes Black Dragon, or your 3 Moon Dragons, right? So that's 8 different ways to turn this skill on, and that's assuming we don't get 7 different ways to turn your skill on, and that's assuming we don't get the other card that we're going to talk about in a minute. So, already not awful, right? Add a Meteor Dragon, Red Eyes Black Dragon, or Meteor Flare Fusion from your deck to your hand, each card once per duel. Now, the only issue I have with this is it's only deck. So if you do just happen to draw out all of the cards, so you draw out all your Meteor Dragons, you draw out your Red Eyes Black Dragon, which again, you only have 1 Red Eyes, so, you know, you can't get Moon with this because it's from the deck, and you draw out all 3 of your Meteor Flare Fusions, the skill just kind of goes away. Just kind of like, Sabu Who is the actual interesting character. He's a ninja, he's hiding from the announcement. Well, that's the thing, right? He might just be like a surprise drop, right? Because it's also converting a NPC into a character, so it might end up making a big deal about that, but we'll see. So, Meteor Flare Fusion. This is the spell card. Fusion summon by sending 2 monsters from your hand and or field to the graveyard as material, including a Red Eyes Black Dragon, Summon Skull, or Meteor Dragon. If you special summoned a non-effect monster by this effect, you can also destroy 1 card on your opponent's field. Now, this is Polymerization, specifically for any Red Eyes Summon Skull or Meteor Dragon card. As well as, if we summon a Black Skull Dragon or a Meteor Black Dragon, we get to destroy 1 card on the opponent's field. Which means sometimes it's actually better to not go into the really good effect monsters, assuming we get any of them, and instead pop something on the field, which is already pretty good. Again, popping any card is really, really valuable. So this card is really good. Then there's Meteor Dragon itself. I mean, this card, let's be honest, guys. Meteor Dragon kind of sucks. We don't want this card. This is fusion material, and that is it. If we draw a handful of Meteor Dragons, that's not going to be ideal. So this is here just as fusion material, no other reason. And then Meteor Black Dragon, we're probably getting this. It would be weird to get Meteor Flare Fusion and Meteor Dragon and not get Meteor Black Dragon. I think this is the most likely fusion that we get, but we might get the others as well. Instant inclusion for both, the old version and the new version of the deck, the fusion. Yeah, absolutely. What's wrong with the Rock Boy? Well, he's a level 6 monster with terrible stats, is what's wrong with him. He's just bad. Alright, next up, Meteor Drake. So this card is also mentioned in the skill, so we know we're getting this. If you have no monsters on your field... Oh, I need to cough. Alright, before we got so rudely interrupted by my throat. If you have no monsters on your field, you could special summon this card from your hand face up to your field. So this is a like sort of Cyber Dragon effect. Excavate the top 4 cards of your deck. Now, I will say this is a lot better in Duel Links because, again, 30 card decks, which means we are more likely to hit cards that we want to see. We can add 1 excavated Meteor Dragon or 1 excavated Meteor Flare Fusion to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck. So that means we're looking in the top 4 for 1 of 6 cards. So really, really good. This card is awkward because, again, whenever you have a card like this, sometimes you'll whiff. And that kind of sucks. You don't really get any value off of it. And it's like, it can't change its name to Meteor Dragon or anything. So, like, it can be a bit awkward, but it's fine. Next up, we're going to talk about Rocket Satellite Medic. So, first off, really good stats. Level 4, 13-13. We can place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of your deck to add a Meteor Dragon or Meteor Flare Fusion from your graveyard to your hand. We know we're getting both of these cards, which means there is a chance that we get the Satellite Medic as well. This card is actually pretty good. So we have to give up a card from our hand, which is obviously not ideal. It means we're not plussing off of this. But being able to get back Flare Fusion or Dragon, if we already had the Flare Fusion, is really, really good. Is that Cyclone Valley in the chat? Hello, Cyclone. You actually missed us talking about all the speed stuff, Cyclone. I can't believe you missed all the speed yab. I thought you'd be all over that. But hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, this card's good, and I hope we get it. Next up is Meteor Swarm Dragon. So this is made using Meteor Dragon and Drake. So this is actually something to do with the Drake. So because we know we're getting Drake, there's an okay chance we get this card. So special summon one Earth attribute dragon type monster with 1800 attack from your graveyard to your field in face up defense position. So we can use this to bring back either Meteor Dragon or Meteor Drake. This card is fine. This card's nothing crazy. I think it's quite likely we get this card. I think the one that we're unlikely to get, or at least it's a bit more up in the air, is the good fusion. And that is Meteor Black Mars Dragon. So, made using Red Eyes and Meteor Dragon, so this exact same material that we go into Meteor Black Dragon. If we have a Meteor Dragon in your graveyard, we can send the top card of our deck to the graveyard. Until the end of this turn, this card gains attack equal to the number of monsters in your graveyard times 200. So let's say on average that's going to be between, I don't know, 5 and 10. So this is going to gain between 1,000 and 2,000 attack most of the time. And if it attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. Which is really good. Now, this isn't like, oh, this isn't super crazy. This isn't like absolutely insane. If you're able though to go into like 2 of these in a single turn, that could be game ending on its own. So this card could be pretty good, which is why I'm kind of on the fence if we're actually going to get it. I hope we do, but you never really know. Next up is another card that's name becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon while in the hand or the graveyard. So this is similar to the Mars Dragon that we already have. So this, or Moon Dragon, not Mars Dragon. I keep saying Mars, it's Moon. This card's name becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon while in the hand or graveyard. We can send the top card of that to the graveyard to make one face-up effect monster in your opponent's field lose 300 at the end of the turn. Then you can add a Red Eyes Pluto Dragon or a Cooling Dart Meteor from your graveyard to your hand. Now, I doubt we're going to get this card because this is just like so much Red Eyes support all in one place. But I thought we would mention it because this card becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon while in the hand, which means if this card does come out, that increases the number of skill targets to activate the skill from 7 to 10. Obviously, if 1/3 of your deck turns your skill on, suddenly the skill becomes a lot better, right? So I thought we'd mention this. And because we're talking about this, I'll talk about the other cards that it mentions. First off, Calling Dart Meteor. This card is really good and sees a lot of play right now in OCG. Shuffle 2 monsters from your graveyard into the deck, destroy a spell trap. Then you can special summon a Dark or Fire attribute non-effect fusion monster from your graveyard face up to your field. So you could use this to bring back, you know, your Black Skull Dragon or your Black Meteor Dragon, right? So, pretty good. Then we have Red Eyes Pluto Dragon. This is the other card mentioned. So during the turn that you normal summon this card, you can fusion summon a Dark or Fire attribute non-effect monster by shuffling monsters from your field and or graveyard into the owner's deck as material. So we just summon this out, and then we use this as a polymerization substitute. Again, I don't think we're super likely to get this, but I thought I would mention it. Are these Planet Red Eyes monsters? Makes me wonder. All these Planet Red Eyes monsters makes me wonder, is there a dragon in Uranus? Yeah, of course there is. We just don't have him yet. Don't worry about it. It's going to be good. So then we have Jupiter Dragon. So during the main phase that you normal or special summon this card, excavate the top 4 cards of your deck. You can add a excavated Pluto or Moon Dragon to your hand. Place the other cards on your deck. Again, quite nice stats at 12 and 12. But I thought we'd mention this because, again, this does mention the Moon Dragon and the Pluto Dragon. Then we get to a spell card, Rocket's Salvation. So you can add a Red Eyes Black Dragon or a Meteor Flare Fusion from your graveyard to your hand. Now, don't forget, we have 2 different cards, being Moon and obviously the unreleased Pluto, which both change their name to be Red Eyes Black Dragon while in the graveyard, so we can get any of those back, and or a Meteor Flare Fusion. But then we can add a Meteorite Dragon's Chick from your graveyard to your hand. And then the last Red Eyes card we're going to look at today is Meteor Dragon's Chick. This is during the turn that you normal summon this card, so only 600 attack, so you want to make sure you get rid of it. Add an Earth attribute Dragon type monster with 1800 attack from your graveyard to your hand. So you can use this to get back either the Meteor Dragon or the Meteor Drake. So you just grab either of those back, tribute this off to summon that monster. Pretty good, not bad. I think there is an okay chance that we actually get Chick, Rocket Salvation. I think there's an okay chance we get Meteor Black Mars Dragon. I think we're probably getting Swarm. And we might be getting Satellite Medic. I think there's a good chance we get like all of those cards. I think the really question mark cards are going to be like, are we getting Mars? And then it's going to be like, I don't think we're probably getting Pluto. I don't think we're getting Calling Dart Meteor. I don't think we're going to get Pluto Dragon. And because we're not getting any of them, that means by extension we also don't get Jupiter Dragon. But there's a chance, right? There's always a chance. But that's it for the Black Skull stuff. Next up, Euro. So this is like the Euro skill, I guess. can be activated from turn 2 onward by revealing one level 5 or higher monster in your hand. If all the monsters in your constructed deck are wind attribute monsters, and there are no level 4 or higher effect monsters in your constructed deck except Air Formula Eagle. Send 2 Sky Dragon to your graveyard from outside of your deck, then add up to 2 level 7 monsters, Cyber Falcon and or Mecha Ambulator, from your deck to your hand, and send 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Then you can add 1 Following World from your deck or graveyard to your hand once per duel. There's a lot going on in here, right? So step 1. Reveal a level 5 or higher monster in your hand. And every card in the deck has to be a wind monster, right? And they have to be... And they can't have any level 4 or higher effect monsters except Air Formula Eagle. So already quite restrictive. Send 2 Sky Dragon. So let's take a look at Sky Dragon quick. This is Sky Dragon. So just put 2 of this in the bin immediately. Then we can add up to 2 level 7 monsters. The level 7 monsters, by the way, have to be like Milky Wave Neo and the Air Formula Eagle. That's kind of it. Or Cyber Falcon or Ambulator, which has had its names changed. From your deck to your hand, send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. So we add 2, we send 1. Then you can add Following World, but only once, right? So let's take a look at Air Formula Eagle. If you have 3 or more wind attribute normal monsters in your graveyard, which again you will because the skill puts 2 in your graveyard, and then we have to send a card from our hand to the graveyard. We can search 1 and then put it in the graveyard, so we can always guarantee we've got 3. Special summon a wind attribute normal monster from your hand to your field face up. Then you can special summon 1 level 6 or lower wind monster from your graveyard. So that means we can easily summon out our Sky Dragon, so we get a 19. We also have this thing out as a 23. And we can also, assuming we already had an Air Formula Eagle or another normal monster in hand, we could grab out like... I mean, there's nothing else we can add with this. Oh, it is level 7. So we can just grab like a Milky Wave Neo, which is the level 7 wind galaxy monster, 2500 attack. Summon out that from your hand immediately. It just does a lot, right? You'll end up with a 23, a 25, and a 19. Which is like not bad. So then there's Cyber Falcon. This is kind of whatever. Cyber Hammercop. This is the other card we did look at earlier. This lets you add Following World. And then there's Following World. So while this card is face up in the field zone, face up wind attribute normal monsters gain 500 attack. So that means that our Sky Dragon, we get back from the graveyard, is now 24. But our Neos now, our not Neos, what's it called? The Wind Galaxy guy, the 2500, that can now come out as a 3000. So we'll have a 23, a 3000, and a 24. I don't know if that is good enough, just because the stats are a little bit low on 2 of those bodies, but it might be. It might be good enough. My gut feeling is this is not going to be crazy good, but has potential. I think this does have potential. But we'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. Alright. I mean, fingers crossed, right? Next up, Euro 3. Can be activated from turn 2 onward before your normal draw. Twice per duel going first, thrice if going second. Place a normal wind attribute monster from your deck or graveyard on top of your deck. In this draw phase, if you draw it until you have 5 cards, draw it until you have 6 cards. So this lets you grab any normal wind monster from your deck up to 3 times and get a +1. You're effectively adding it to your hand, right? It's interesting. Secret Order go burr. I mean, it absolutely could, right? Secret Order is good with Euro skill 2 since you can add Milky Wave Neo. I think it is, but the issue is you're always finding yourself in a situation where you're always ending up with like 2 kind of wimpy monsters. Is Hero still playable? Yeah, Hero's still playable. I don't think Euro skill 3 is super impressive personally. Like maybe this would be like the basis for like if Harpies came out, this would be your Harpy skill probably. But like other than that, kind of whatever. Then we get our Sabu Ramen skills. So Sabu Ramen, again, we don't have any like announcement of this character coming, so we don't really know what's going on with him. But can be activated from turn 2 onwards by revealing 1 level 7 or 8 monster in your hand. That's very important because that means we have to have lots of bosses. During a turn, you have not fusion summoned. If all of the monsters in your construct deck are fire attribute pyro monsters and all level 5 or higher monsters have 0 defense. Okay. Now the question I want to check is, what is the defense of this card? 0. Okay, perfect. I just wanted to double check that. So, add up to 2, the Noodle Art of Flavor Modulation, once per duel, normal monsters and or fusion from your deck or graveyard to your hand, then send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. You can only fusion summon once for the rest of this turn. So there is a lot going on here. We get to add 2 cards, but then we have to send a card from our hand to the graveyard, so it's only a +1. But we can set up the graveyard a little bit if we want to. Right? And also, it means that we can just grab 2 cards and then get rid of something else, so we are searching 2 things for a fusion. We can only grab Modulation once per duel. That's a little bit restrictive. And we can only fusion summon once for the rest of this turn, which there's quite a lot of restrictions. So I'm not sure how good this is going to end up being, but we'll wait and see. Sabu Ramen playable? It looks like we are getting Sabu Ramen playable glue, but again, we don't know where it's coming. We don't know where it's coming from. So, this is the Noodle Art of Flavor Modulation. During a turn, you have not activated the Noodle Art of Flavor Modulation. Reveal 1 fight attribute monster with 2900 attack in your extra deck, and declare 1 card name mentioned as material on that monster. This turn, the name of 1 face-up monster on your field becomes the declared name. So, this is sort of a -1, because you just slap this down, and you just change something's name, and you've just lost this spell card. So you've just -1'd yourself. But if you do change a monster's name to be a high-level monster, in a way, it's sort of a plus if you kind of squint at it, right? So it's kind of tricky how you use this. If you change something to be like Extra Spice the Noodle Ninja, or Cross Promotion, or, you know, Spice the Noodle Ninja, this is sort of a plus if you kind of squint at it. But in a vacuum, this is just a minus. So it's like, it's sort of awkward. It's a very awkward card to like ascertain its true value. But this is one of the cards that we can grab. And don't forget, we can only grab this once per duel. Then we have Strain. So this is a card I would expect to get. This does mention the Noodle Art of Flavor Modulation, so we'll talk about this card. Again, okay stats. Send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. Send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard, so fill out the graveyard. Then you can add a Pyro-type normal monster or a Noodle Art of Flavor Modulation from your graveyard to your hand. So just ways to get value off of this. Now, this doesn't like plus us, unfortunately, because we have to go even. We have to send a card from our hand to the graveyard, then we get a card back, so we just kind of break even. But that's fine, right? It doesn't need to do more than that. Then we got Excellent Spice, the Special Noodle Ninja, made using Spice, the Elite Noodle Ninja, and Flavor Inspector. So during the turn, during your main phase that you fusion summon this card, special summon 1 level 7 Pyro-type monster from your graveyard face up to your field. If you special summon Spice, the Elite Noodle Ninja, which, you know, as long as we haven't used Modulation, he will be in the graveyard. By its effect, you can destroy 1 card in the opponent's field. So if we get this card, this is quite good. Popping a card out the way, most of the time it will probably be their back row if all our opponent's cards are face up, or it'll be a monster if all our opponent's monsters are in defense position. We can use this to get to our opponent's life points. We can use this to, obviously, if we get out Spice, we can also use Spice's effect to boost its attack. There's quite a lot going on with this card, and I think this is actually a really, really good card. So, quite happy with this one. But again, we don't know if we're going to get this, but I'm kind of hoping we do. The other one is Beginning Hayashi the Sonic Noodle Ninja. This is another new noodle card. So this is made using Strain, which is the one we talked about just now. It's this one. And Flavor Inspector. This is something you'll see with all the noodle fusions. They all use Flavor Inspector. Shuffle 3 Pyro-type monsters from your graveyard into the deck. This turn, this card can attack directly. Now, 2900 direct attack in 6000 format is pretty good. But we do already have a lot of direct attackers, right? We have the Mirror Gearstar, and we have the Gaia fusion as well. So it's not too crazy anymore, right? But then you can change 1 attack position monster on your opponent's field to face down defense position. Now this is interesting. I don't know if there's a lot we can do off of this, because a lot of the cards that affect face down defense position cards we don't have access to with this skill, because it locks us into Fire Pyro. So, but it's still interesting that it does do that. Then I'll talk about some of the generic noodle support we could be getting. So this is the Noodle Art of Sorcery. Send cards from your hand to the graveyard up to the number of Pyro-type normal monsters in your graveyard. Draw cards equal to the number of cards sent to the graveyard to meet the requirement. Then if we have a face-up Pyro normal monster, we draw 1 additional card. So as long as we have a face-up Pyro normal monster, we can use this card to basically filter our hand. We can get rid of our entire hand and redraw a brand new hand of the same number of cards. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Next up, Noodle Art of Spicery. This is another weird card that we haven't got yet, but this just gives a Pyro monster 300 attack and piercing. This card is not fantastic, because this is just Pierce, but with 300 extra attack, but we're locked to Pyro. So if we're not going to play Pierce, you wouldn't play this. But this card is mentioned on one of our fusion monsters, so we thought we'd mention it here. Next up is Cross Promotion, the Elite Noodle Ninja. So this is another 2500 attack, level 7 Fire Pyro card, next to Chromatographicus, who actually has defense points. But this again is used as fusion material, and it's a noodle card, so it's well worth mentioning. Then we have its fusion. So this is Cross Promotion fusion, Miso Instant, the Special Noodle Ninja. 2900 attack. Shuffle 3 Pyro-type monsters from your graveyard into the deck. This turn, this card gains 600 attack, so it becomes 35, and gains Piercing. So another good way to get to your opponent's life points. So it could make for a really good, like, Pyro Noodle aggro deck, if we do get this card. A locked-in Pyro in a Pyro deck? Oh no. Well, it's one of those things where some decks are hard-locked into their deck, and other ones don't really care so much, right? So I think Pyro is a bit of a problematic deck, which is why it's been, like, as heavily locked as it has been. Like, even Light Galaxy and Dark Galaxy, with their latest skills, can play the other attribute, right? So then we have Meat Spice, the Special Noodle Need. I hope we get Meat Spice. I really do. I think this doesn't have a great chance of coming out, because Extra Spice caused a lot of issues. So I don't think they want to bring back Extra Spice's fusion. Also, the fact that they didn't unhit Extra Spice is also telling me that maybe we're not getting this card. So this is made using Extra Spice, the Elite Noodle Ninja, and Taste Inspection. During the main phase that you special summon this card, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent and draw a card. So that's already quite good, right? We make a fusion that's got 2900 attack, immediately burn your opponent for a K, immediately draw a card. So it's immediately recouping some of the value that we put into this card. Then if you drew by this effect, you can set a Noodle Art of Savory and or Noodle Art of Sorcery from your graveyard into your spell and trap card zone. So theoretically, this also gets us another plus as well, which is also really nice. So many fusions in this deck. The skill locking to one fusion that turn sucks. Hello, Piper. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, it's awkward. I want to ask you a question, Piper, while you're here. Do we know that these noodle skills are attached to a character? Like, is that something that we know based on the data mine? Or is that something we're just kind of inferring because there's like 3 different ones? Because I am curious. Because obviously, we've had 2 noodle skills already. And they've both been archive skills. So a lot of people were expecting these to also be archive skills. So I'm just curious if, in the way that we data mine, do we know these are archive or character skills? Or are we just making like a, you know, inferring it based on the evidence we've got? Imagine Meat Spice get limit 3 also unreleased. I mean, they could do that. They did that with Yami Terasu, so they absolutely could do that. So next up is Special Flavor Inspector. This is a card I hope we get, because this could really bring the whole deck together. If you have a Pyro-type normal monster in your graveyard, you can normal summon this card without tributing. That's already very good because it's level 7. Send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. This turn, this card's name becomes Flavor Inspector. Okay, that's very good because we want more Flavor Inspectors because it's used as fusion material for all of our cards. Then you can add Fusion from your graveyard to your hand. Again, very, very good. So if we do get this card, I'm feeling pretty good about this deck. If we don't get this card, I'm a bit like, how good is this going to be? Didn't a character with the same voice lines as Sabu Ramen get leaked? I mean, we saw a character ID for Sabu Ramen get leaked, I think. But again, that was a long time ago. So the last card I do want to talk about, and it's another card that would make it really good. It would be really useful if this deck does come out. It's pretty heavily inferred by the first skill. Just adding Ace Monster is not something done by non-character skills. That'd be a first. Okay, and so do we know that they're all linked to the same thing then? But again, without being a data miner myself, it's hard to visualize how everything is extracted. So I'm just going to go with, yeah, it does seem very likely that Sabu Ramen is going to be a playable character. We just don't know how he's coming out, right? That's what we're going to go with at the moment. But another card I would really like to see come out and would be really, really helpful for this deck is Splane. So shuffle 2 Pyro-type monsters from your graveyard into the deck. This turn, this card's name becomes the same as the name of one level 8 or lower monster in your graveyard. This just makes fusing as Pyro so much easier. I really hope we get this card. I don't know how likely we are to get this card, but I would really like to. So I'm going to hope. We're just going to hope. Then we have Sabu Ramen 3. Can be activated from turn 2 onwards. One fire attribute monster on your field gains 100 attack for each fire attribute normal monster in your graveyard until the end of this turn. Then you can add one fire attribute normal monster from the graveyard to your hand, but only twice per duel. So this is interesting, because there's only one fire monster on your field gets this boost. because this is effectively Spice's effect. So, like, you could summon Spice. You could, like, Turbo Mill, get out of Spice, activate Spice's effect to boost itself, then play the spell card that's already Spice's effect to boost it again. And then you could use the skill to also boost it again, as well as get back an extra body to be helped with, like, tribute summoning. It's interesting. And I think there's going to be some, like, funny things we can do with it. I don't know how competitive it's going to be, though. And then there is this as well. So I did want to talk about this a little bit. Obviously, you know, we're kind of, you know, posting Piper messages, but I thought we should mention this. So there were also some cards added to the database, but I do want to say, take this with a pinch of salt. We have already mentioned this a little bit already, but as Piper says here, I won't post these in the official DB updates, but it's the first time it matches the skill we're getting for Rush, and updates for Rush usually mean nothing. So don't expect anything. We're just coping. We're just talking about this from like an interest point of view. This is like a fun activity to do. Don't go thinking, oh, we're definitely getting executees. We're definitely getting harpies. They could be coming further down the line at some point, but we'll go over these cards anyway because it's fun, right? So, first up, Harpy Signora. So if you have 10 or more cards in your deck during the turn that you normal summon this card, send 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard. Then if Harpy Lady or Harpy Lady Sisters is among the cards sent, you can draw 1 card. So this is good. This is just a good card. Obviously, you know, we want to be playing Harpies in order to make this work. But we already have a lot of those, so that's kind of fine. Harpy Bell is the other Harpy card. So during the turn you normal summon this card, special summon 1 level 2 Wing Beast monster from your graveyard face up to your field. If you special summon a normal monster by effect, you can destroy 1 face down card on your opponent's field. So very good. You're supposed to use this with Harpy's Chick, which is like a 500 attack, 500 defense level 2. You could use it with that. Then there's Hysteric Party. So when your opponent draws a card during the turn, or when a monster is destroyed by your opponent's attack, send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. Then you can special summon up to 3 Harpy Lady Sisters, and or Wind Attribute Wing Beast type fusion monsters from your graveyard face up to your field. Now again, I don't think we're going to get this card anytime soon, but it's neat that it's in the files, right? Then there's XQT Lumiere Frontier. Is this Frontier or is this Frontier? Because I want to say that's Lumiere, but that could just be Lumiere. So XQT Lumiere Frontier, or it's Lumiere Frontier. Now I think Lumiere Frontier makes more sense, but I'm not very good with the words and the language. So either way, this is made using Lumiere and Lilius. You can summon this card by Contact Fusion. So this is a Contact Fusion. During the main phase that you fusion summon this card, shuffle 1 face-up monster on the opponent's field into the owner's deck. This is such a good effect. This is such a ridiculously good effect. And it's a Contact Fusion, and it's got 2800 attack. This card is just absolutely fantastic. And it's made using 2 of the best executed cards as well. This is Lumiere. So if you have no monster cards on your field, you can special summon this card, so just get to get this out for free. Shuffle 1 face-up level 6 monster on your field, so you could just choose itself. And 1 face-up level 7 or 8 monster on the opponent's field into the owner's decks. This turn, your level 7 and higher monsters cannot attack. Then there's Lilius. So if you have a face at level 6 monster, so if you summon out, for example, the Lumiere, you could just summon this for free. You can special summon this card from your hand, and your level 7 or higher monsters cannot attack, but this is basically a 2500 normal summon, which is what makes this card so good. Then there's Driving Cattle Healer. So send 1 monster from your hand to the graveyard, gain 300 life points, then you can fusion summon a Wind Attribute monster by sending Wind Attribute monsters from your hand and or field to the graveyard as material. This turn you can only attack with Wind Attribute monsters. So we have to lose a monster, but we basically turn that monster on our field into a polymerization, but only for Wind Attribute monsters. So this card is very good, and would probably be really good in the current Music Princess deck. That being said, it does have its own fusion, that being the Cattle Healer and more. So this is made using Driving Cattle Healer and any level 4 or lower Wind Attribute monster, and has a continuous effect. Neither player takes battle damage from battles involving this card, and during your turn, this card gains 200 attack, which is quite nice. Have you considered the thought of you going over cards and skills on YouTube? I mean, we do that on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. Exclamation mark YouTube. Where we do go over all these cards. Wait, why is exclamation mark YouTube not working? Oh, is it exclamation mark YT? Did we change it? Yeah, exclamation mark YT. We got there. We got there. Cattle Healer works with Music Princess. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. XQE Gunner. Huge pre-roll WCQ. Again, we don't know if we're getting these cards. We do not know if we're getting any of these cards. But They were there, so we thought we'd mention them. This card gives me bad memories from Doubles Puzzle. We have to get back on Doubles Puzzle at some point. Hi, YouTube. I mean, this video isn't going on YouTube. We're going to have a better, like, not scripted, but, like, we'll do a better write-up for YouTube, basically. We'll probably have that come out tomorrow. I can't unsee it. Well, you're going to have to. You're going to have to, I'm afraid. It is less comprehensive than how you do it on here. Is it less comprehensive? It's basically the same. On here, I tend to rush through it a bit more because a lot of people are kind of like waiting for the thing they want to get to. And in a stream setting, it's more of like, we're here in the now, as well as my stream was supposed to end 5 minutes ago. So it was like, okay, we'll just like kind of speed through this a little bit. But yeah, on the YouTube, I'm a rambler. I'm a yapper. I like to talk a lot. I like to go in depth with things. That's just how we do things here, unfortunately. Some people like that, some people don't. That's just the way I am. That's just the way I am. But, like we said, we were supposed to finish up the stream 5 minutes ago. We have now gotten through absolutely everything, even though we did kind of rush through the end here. But, you know, it's a rush duel thing. So rush duel's fine, right? We like a bit of rush duel. I don't know if there's actually anyone for us to raid, you know. Looking through, we look like we've got kind of slim pickings. There's not really anyone I know. Because I've had weird interactions before where I've raided people that I've never been in their chats before, and they've been a bit weird with it. So I think it's better to not raid someone we don't know. And one of the people is just streaming Master Duel as well. But I suppose we're streaming a website, so that's kind of what it is, right? But that is going to be the end of the stream. We will be back on Sunday, finishing off Digimon. Now, to some of you, that's probably going to sound really weird, but we do play, like, kind of variety, I guess, on Sundays. So we will be finishing off the Digimon game. We've been playing Digimon Time Stranger, and we are right at the end of that game. So we'll be finishing that off on Sunday. So anyone that wants to see that, that's where that's going to be. Outside of that, I wouldn't imagine we'll be back until Tuesday, where we'll be doing some more dueling. So, now do the Shadowverse set? Bruh. I keep looking at the Shadowverse stuff. I'm genuinely, like, I'm interested in it, and I'm keeping an eye on, like, how the meta is. But I'm not getting an itch to play. And that is a bit of a shame, because I really want to play it. I keep going back, like, every time a new set comes out, I get a load of the new cards, I'll play a few games, and I'll be like, this just ain't doing it. I play Xenobird X after finishing Digimon Smile. Now, I already know what we're playing after Digimon. It's going to be a Yu-Gi-Oh! Themed game, and it should not be as long of a commitment as Digimon was. This should be done in, like, you know, three or four streams. So it's going to be a much shorter game next. That's going to be our, like, palette cleanser before we start working out what the next big thing we want to tackle is. But that is the plan. That is the plan. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. It's been a blast. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.